Back at it again. SeeJeanty live show. Today is January 15th. We're halfway through the new year of 2022. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. What? What? I want to welcome everyone who is going to be spending a few an hour or so of their Saturday with SeeJeanty and what we have going on here on this part of the interwebs, this part of the internet where we're trying to make an impact, trying to do something that really is not nearly as available as it should be, right? And that is uh, trying to inform, trying to inspire, trying to encourage. Inspire is too big of a strong word. Trying to encourage uh, more for him, especially in a world, in a realm where, um, quite frankly, there isn't much available to try to that could keep your heart warm when it comes to Haiti. When you have so much going on, which we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about this won't be Haiti biz news per se, but certainly we're going to talk about some of the big bullet points that have been happening in Haiti. And but nonetheless, a big part of today's episode is going to be talking about where SeeJeanty is going.com. SeeJeanty, yeah.com. Jeanty Media is going. I mean, the stuff in the pipeline right now, the team is working on. I think a lot of the folks who've been with SeeJeanty for a while is going to be really looking forward to what we have going on. We're going to be talking about our NFT that we have going on too. We have a little NFT thing going on here. We're going to be talking about that, and of course, hyper distribution. Of course, hyper distribution. We have some stuff happening on that front that I'm looking forward to share and discuss. Right, but as per usual, we are going to cut because I got some stuff in the background to get this show going. And as you know, it's a one-man show on days like this. And so we are going to play our typical intermission video. And in fact, I didn't automatically pull that up. Shame on me. Shame on me. So I'm going to pull that up and then we're going to play that once I can find it. And and then we'll be right back. But man, I am not. In fact, I was supposed to. Shame on me. I was supposed to find actually our create a new intermission video style that I was supposed to find. But I'll tell you what, this is what we're going to do actually. We're just going to pull up our droning, the most recent video that's doing exceptionally well actually. I've been very well, not surprised. I knew it was going to do well. Our 50 minutes of showing, Haiti as you've never seen aerial video. We're going to jump ahead though. Grammarly. We're going to jump ahead though, and there's some parts that I'm sure a lot of you guys haven't even seen yet, and we'll play that as I scurry around the background here, right? But if you haven't seen that, I mean that's one of the videos I keep playing. I keep on the background, of the office here, because I mean, let me go and grab that tab here. All right, boom. There we have it. And we'll be right back and put that bad boy on full screen for you. And we will be right back. All right. And we're back. SeeJeanty. We're streaming on all platforms. We're on IG, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Twitter used to be Periscope. They got their own thing now. All right. We're streaming on all four. I want to say good morning again, January 15th, 2022. I want to say what's up to the folks who are streaming into the chat. Don't be a stranger, child. Say something to me. Nicholas Colson, what's up, man? Good morning. I've got Lance Bourgeois. First time I'm seeing your name in the chat. Good morning. What's up? We got Black Empowerment. What's up? Good morning. Da Manucci. Seen you before. I usually don't start on your name like that, but good day. Good to see you again. Right. And oh, okay. Seems I'm on the. I'm gonna have to fix the IG. You guys on IG, you guys want to switch over to SeeJeanty. Apparently, I did a live show on the Hypro HT channel. That's not we're supposed to do that. So we're gonna end this live here. We're gonna fix that real quick. Head over to the SeeJeanty channel. Right. Boom. Fix that. That's what happens when you have a lot of IG channels. IG. So when you have a lot of IG accounts, you lose track of which account you are on. So just real quick, we're gonna go ahead and get that live going real quick. But I want to say, well, do drop a comment. I want any of you guys who want to jump on the live. I want you guys to know, right, that you can jump on the live by emailing SeeJeantyShare, right? SeeJeantyShare@gmail.com. Right, and we'll get you on the live. The past few shows, a few of you folks have been really, 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 really shy for some reason. I don't understand. I don't understand it. I don't bite. I'm a friendly guy, right? Shows, say what's up. I don't bite, right? But come on, air. I'd love to. It's one thing to read the comments, right? But it's another thing completely to actually meet you guys directly, face to face. So again, SeeJeantyShare@gmail.com. Join, be part of the conversation. That's why I do these things. I do these things, quite frankly, so I can meet you guys, so I can have a conversation with you guys. A lot of you guys who be DMing me, right? A lot of you guys who be messaging me with questions and comments. I don't have time during my busy work in the little zing of personal life I try to maintain to respond to the daily messages. But this is an opportunity. It's an opportunity right here to have that conversation and have other folks benefit, right? Remember, we do this. SeeJeanty exists so the success and the progress that a lot of us know exists can come to the light, can bubble up to the light, right? And so right? No, come on, bring it. Come on the live. Let's have that conversation, and let's all empower, and let's all grow, and let's all progress, and let's all be quite a bit better, right? Of course, before I even get started, make sure partage live la, partage. We have a lot of information, a lot of things we're going to be sharing today, and it's going to benefit, if not you, but certainly people in your circle, as relates to Haiti, as relates to how we're trying to progress and trying to impact. So partage live la, share at least one time if you're on IG, share it to someone within your message network. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and share that as well, or hit that like button. Same thing on Facebook. Drop it to a group. If you're on Facebook, drop it in the group. Let's get that conversation. Let's get more folks in here. Let's get more folks empowered in an era of Haiti where empowerment just is too few and too rare and too in between. Of course, comme toujours, toujours prendre un petit moment pour expliquer en créole pour qui ça nous fait émission ça en anglais parce que bon, nous sommes qui a grandi l'autre bord, qui a grandi l'autre bord à États-Unis, pas jamais rien qui basé sur Haïti qui est anglais. C'est pas que nous pas gain respect pour langage qui connecte tout haïtien tout côté, sur en Chili, sur en Brésil, sur Mexique, sur à France, sur Canada, nous connaissons déjà c'est celle qui connecte nous vrai. C'est langage nous et son gars plus respect pour lui et mais encore il me fait ça pour pas seulement haïtien qui du basé dans l'anglais mais tout il va y avoir un côté que l'autre monde comme dit l'autre monde qui pas haïtien mais qui a intérêt dans Haïti faut qu'on il a un pile parce que on pas dire ou monter en avion et pour aller à Haïti pour pas ouais que demi avion c'est next sur soit G20 qui dans avion, OK? Ou pas dire ouais c'est demi avion que c'est l'autre nationalité qui dans pays qui a entré. Il faut demander tête tout qui côté yo joine nouvelle qui basée sur pays nous et parce que c'est anglais yo c'est anglais yo parler on ka dit zéro ba yo ken côté après CNN Fox News vieille ligne de information ça yo qui toujours basé sur les plus mauvaises informations plus mauvaises nouvelles plus mauvais médias qui a sorti dans le pays par exemple ou ba ouais plutôt Vice News entre dans le pays pour connecter avec nèg qui a brassé dans le bon sens et toko on nèg toko bon et Edzer Amil qui a fait belle bail tout ce facilité nèg ça et ou gen nèg plusieurs moun dans domaine qui a vraiment passé n'importe moun ou interviewé sous média moi c'est moun qui vraiment a fait des effets impact dans le pays al parler avec une moun sa yo une moun qui me fait à nous parler Jo la gousse par exemple et bon partenaire qui Jérémy qui ont un bel projet et sous Kai Makai Guest House et par exemple tout le monde ça yo à l'interview moun sa yo qui a une vision positive qui a fini qui a un track record de travail non Vice News plutôt entrer en Haïti pour faire une interview avec BBQ oui. So est-ce qu'on comprend pour qui ça anglais est important frère essai anglais est important et tout toujours dit ça c'est pas que nous manquer côté nous quand recevoir nouvelles nous des informations nous dans créole avec un accent qui plus mauvais dans oreilles nous par exemple bon Fernando c'est un autre c'est une et il y a plusieurs monde qui toujours fait live chaque semaine par exemple et ce comprend so c'est pas que nous manquer côté pour joindre information nous dans créole que nous préférons qui était espace ça pour moun qui fait nouvelle en anglais faut qu'on soit l'autre monde toujours intéressé pour gagner émission madame ça par exemple qui était un petit zing des lignes pour information qu'a partager de nous-mêmes et dans un langage international pour tout le monde comprendre tout le monde qui a essayé faciliter la compréhension dans le pays nous et joindre au niveau des appréciation des complexités qui existent dans le pays nous so c'est ça demandé ok c'est pas que nous mal respecter le langage là nous avons plus de respect pour lui et bon c'est ça ok so as my usual Creole disclaimer at the top of the hour just let you guys know we're getting a lot of respect for Creole we're just trying to do this so everyone who has interest and on Haiti can understand and improve their comprehension of what's happening in the country. And by the way, I do have a SeeJeanty in Creole channel. I'm going to share that on the YouTube and Facebook. Let me go and drop that. Excuse me. Let me go and drop that link right now, and you guys can, for those who do have that preference for Creole, you have it. We have it, right? And per usual, I do like to mention that we do have a book out, 101 Ways to Make Money in Haiti, Lucrative Business Ideas, Insightful Success Stories, and Interesting Business Opportunities for Visionary Entrepreneurs. I'm going to go ahead and drop that as well. For those who are watching on IG, that's SeeJeanty.com/shop, SeeJeanty.com/shop, and you'll be able to see and get access to the book. It's doing very well. I'm humbled, always humbled that we've made the progress that we made in terms of getting the word out in terms of the opportunities that exist in the country. And the fact that, again, for 5 stars, 25 plus reviews, 5 stars on Amazon. And, when you put so much time and effort out on something and as any artist will tell you, you get apprehensive, right? And I put a year and a half in that book, and quite frankly, I almost didn't release it. It was never good enough yet. Finally, I just pulled that trigger, and so I've been very happy that the reception of that book has been well received from so many folks in the community. If you haven't gotten your copy yet, do check that out. 100% of the proceeds go to SeeJeanty Media to allow us to do things and create new content, invest in new equipment, things of that sort. So do go ahead and check that out, right? We also are going to be talking about NFTs later. CJ has some NFTs now. Pretty cool. Moving into technology, like the gut of it, right? But we'll talk about that a little later. SeeJeanty Action Group, definitely, join that. If you're on Facebook, if you're not part of SeeJeanty Action, what are you doing? What are you doing, right? It's a space where there's a lot of folks who are doing some great things in social media, or at least to Haiti, and controlling the narrative. And if you're not part of that group, what are you doing? Join that group. Enjoy the camaraderie that happens in there. It's free, doesn't cost a thing. And share yourself. Share, if you run across a cool YouTube video of a Haitian doing something, a cool article. Make this a space where even though we don't meet every week, because back in the day we used to meet every day and have these conversations. But because we're not meeting as frequently, I still wanted that space to allow folks to continue to communicate, continue to have those conversations throughout the week. And so join that group. Join. It doesn't cost a thing. Come and go in there. Hop in there. Let's grow that space out. Hit that like button, follow that group, and you will get in there. The SeeJeanty WhatsApp group, I'm going to share that link as well. You'll find that again for those who are watching on IG, SeeJeanty.com/private WhatsApp group. And that's a Patreon. If you guys have any understanding what Patreon is, it's a space where folks who appreciate the art that's being provided to you on the YouTubes, on the social media, to contribute a little something, doesn't hurt the bank, just asking $20 a month. And you get access not only to me, a lot of folks who are trying to reach out to me and have conversations with me, I'm in there. Anyone who's part of the WhatsApp group knows I'm in there. I'm having full conversations with every single person in that group. The knowledge share is incredible. You have access to my entire repository of contacts and anything I can do to help. We do it in a space where everyone is learning at the same time, right? And the real benefit is there's about 30, 40 people in that group who are as impactful as me, right? It's crazy. I have folks who are business owners, folks who've, doing real impactful social projects throughout the country. And they're in that group. And what I've appreciated has been, when a question gets asked, we have folks, 2-3 different folks who are providing responses, resources, contacts, right? And some real progress has been made within that WhatsApp group, in addition to like myself being in there. And with the final goal of, that monthly support that cumulatively adds up from everyone who's in there, has really honestly been the sole thing that's kept SeeJeanty Media going. I'll be honest with you. If it wasn't for the WhatsApp group and the contributions folks are providing, we'd probably be on an extended hiatus right now, given the projects that I'm working on right now, i.e. hyper distribution. But in fact, instead of pulling back, we have a calendar of shoots that the most aggressive calendar of shoots I've ever been a part of at SeeJeanty Media. Even when I was, really in the thick of it, pushing SeeJeanty Media, we weren't shooting as much content as we're shooting right now, right? And even though we're a little delayed on dropping an episode, which I really want to get back to our once a week schedule of dropping episodes, but I'm extremely excited about the content we're shooting. We're going to be shooting a new style of content, really trying to get to provide personal stories of Haiti. For example, I just tell you right now, our very first episode for the new year we're going to drop, it's a story on tap drivers. Right? And providing a very individual focused story on 2 drivers in particular. And I'm really excited to get that out to you guys. And that's sort of the vein of what we're trying to do in this new year, is new stories, deeper dive on Haitians, day to day. And that's something I've always wanted to do. And that's coming. Right? And again, all thanks to the SeeJeanty private WhatsApp group. So, however you want to, if you really appreciate what we've been doing here on SeeJeanty WhatsApp, SeeJeanty, and you haven't, and you want to figure out how to keep encouraging us, how to push us forward, share the videos, of course, like the videos, comment on the videos. And that final boss level is join the SeeJeanty private WhatsApp group. It will benefit you, and it benefits everything we're trying to do. Because at the end of the day, money makes the world go round. The small contribution goes a very, very, very long way, right? Of course, again, SeeJeantyShare.com. I want to bring some folks on the live. Any folks who have questions about what they're trying to do in Haiti, thinking about investing, thinking about doing something impactful in the country, do go ahead and try to send a question to the SeeJeanty Share. I'll be looking over your question, and then I'll send you a link to join the YouTube and the Facebook live stream that's going to be happening. So we'll towards the end of the show, that's when that's going to happen, right? And of course, I do want to encourage you guys to check out hyperdistribution.com. That's the business venture that's really been taking up so much of my time, and it's really making some incredible work, incredible progress. We're always looking for new folks to work with. We're always looking for folks in Haiti who can provide us product. We're always looking for folks who are on the U.S. side who have a retail store and want product. In fact, we're about to send something over to a store to New York today. A bunch of our products that we're looking to stock Haitian products, and they couldn't find a consistent place to get that product, and so we're going to be providing it to them, right? So if you have a store, if you have a restaurant, if you have anything, and you just want to put some quality Haitian products, including coffee, honey, jonjon, black castor oil. We're going to have cassave starting this month. Toll, of course, is a big seller for us. You let us know. And of course, we're always looking to expand. In the coming months, we're going to be looking to stock lalo. We're looking to stock chocolat, balls of chocolat. So just, make sure you're following, make sure you're keeping on the posts of hyper distribution. So that's the website. I shared it, hyperdistribution.com. Take a look if you guys weren't aware. And that is the run through at the top of the hour stuff that we always have to go through. I want to jump in the chat real quick and just read a few things and say what's up to a few folks who've come in. Let me scroll up to the very tip top. Edwin William, what's up, man? Good to see you in the chat. Always a pleasure to have you in there. Cloud 14, a man of impact. Cloud, man, you should, Cloud 14, if you're still in here, man, you should send me a message, SeeJeantyShare.com, man. I think a lot of folks would love to have you on the live right now, man. I know you're doing some really cool stuff up in Mont Saint Nicolas. I don't know how the internet connection is if you're over there right now, if you're stateside, but I'd love to have you on the live, man. I'm a personal overture to you, Cloud 14. Send me a message, SeeJeantyShare.com. Would love, and I think a lot of folks who follow you as well would love to have us have a conversation. So Cloud 14, please don't be shy. Send a message. Let's have that conversation today, right? Evel Alexis, hello. Good to have you. Cindy B, good morning. Nate, what's up? Good to have you, Nate. Nate's always the guy who's doing impactful stuff all across. Hooked on Haiti is Nate's YouTube channel. Do go check him out. I love his style of promotion, and whenever he's in the country, he's racking up videos and posting them. So do go check out Nate. Hooked on Haiti. Happy to have you in the channel today, Nate. We got DFS Voodoo in the house. What's up? We got Life in Haiti with Marie. Hello, Marie. Big impactor, someone who's doing a lot of good stuff in the country. Do go check her out if you haven't subscribed. If you don't know who she is, go check her out. You'll see real quick. In fact, we have an episode with her. So just type in Marie and SeeJeanty, you'll see that. And you'll find that and you'll be able to watch that. LF, what's up? Hello. We got DFS Voodoo in the house. What's up? We got Buer Guerrera. Don't do that. This is what Buer Guerrera, he said, Jeanty Christianson for president of Haiti in 2022. I thought you guys liked me. Huh? I thought we were friends. Huh? You're wishing the worst possible thing a person could be. Given this climate, given the way Congress, the folks become deputy and senator in this country. Heck, you just saw what happened to the last guy who was trying to make some big changes. Y'all wishing that on me? Come on now, don't do that, Professor. Don't do that, right, Professor? But nonetheless, I understand the intent. Ben-Hur Guerrero, appreciate you. Good morning. We got Zuzu Bill. Good morning. We have Denzi that's the name right there. Ventu Castro in the house. Let's see what Ventu's saying. I'm not sure you know this. The Dominican Republic is working on creating the next Punta Cana right on the border of DR. Yep, the town of Pedernales is slated to become to become the next tourist spot. It's right on the border of Ans. I know I said that wrong. The project includes a national airport for my area. My question is there any chance for Haitian entrepreneurs? I'm going to answer that question. Denzi, thanks for sharing that. And in fact, what you may not even know is that there's a lot of Haitian investors a part of that project, right? I'm in personal contact with an investment group that's doing incredible things in that area in terms of development, housing projects. They're doing like 100 different apartment homes. And in fact, I'm supposed to do an episode on that. There's so many awesome episodes I'm being requested to do personally. And these episodes I want to personally do because of the level of impact that's happening. And that's one of them. Though there's mixed feelings with me, obviously, because whenever you hear Haitian investment, you want that Haitian investment to be happening in Haiti, right? But nonetheless, it's sort of low key. What's not being talked about is that it's almost becoming an enclave for a lot of Haitians of impact because again, it's right on the border. It's not too far. It's a much shorter flight. Like you potentially folks can even drive out there. The area I'm just saying it wrong. It's Anzapet. Yeah, voilà, Anzapet. Desperately needs development. I mean, heck, there's not even a real road y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but there's not even a road that you can drive from Jacmel, which is the next city, to Anzapet, right? You have at some point the roads get so bad, you're better off taking a boat than driving, right? Unless you have like a good 4x4, Jeep, Land Cruiser, something like that. And so hopefully that will bring a degree of investment on the Haiti side, to help that area develop. Mixed emotions, of course, but I think there is going to be a ripple effect on that side, right? That should help a bit. But I think that's as much as I can say about it. It is aiming to be a big economic engine. I know one thing folks don't know, the current president of the Dominican Republic, Abenar, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, he's from there. He has a lot of interest in Pedernales. He has a lot of interest in that. I believe he's from there, which is another reason why that area is getting a very big push as well, right? So yeah, if there's anything else you want me to talk about that area, but certainly it's there's some great things happening in that area, and we'll see what the effect can be. And again, I don't, quite frankly, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't. If you guys are looking for me to be, anti-DR, listen, I'm for Haitians succeeding anywhere, right? You don't have to. I'll be honest, you don't have to invest in Haiti to be helping Haitians, right? I've said this many a times on my live streams, my videos. I much rather you invest and be successful where you are before coming to Haiti. Meaning, if you're in Little Haiti, South Florida, if you're in Little Haiti, Miami, sorry, I said Miami, South Florida, same. Little Haiti, New York is what I meant to say. If you're in Little Haiti of Canada, if you're in Little Haiti of Chile, Little Haiti of Brazil, stay there, invest there, work with other Haitians there, build there, right? Just like little Chinatown is insular and self-sufficient and doesn't need outside people coming in. There's no gentrification happening in Little China. I'm saying little Chinatown or Chinatown, right? Because the folks there own everything. The money stays in the ecosystem there, right? Chinese support other Chinese, right? That doesn't happen amongst Haitians. Why is that, right? Because the moment the second generations go to college, they follow the Black American path. You ask me how the Black American path is working for Black Americans, right? We need to follow the path that is proven to work, which is we stay in our community. So you go off to college, come back. And even if you're working for a corporate entity, especially now in the remote culture, come back, invest, buy property in your area, open joint ventures with other folks, in your areas, buy back the block, hold down the block, work together, right? And be successful where you are, with the long-term play of, if not later in your life, but certainly in the generation after your kid, your daughter, who are going to be so well off, they can turn around and invest $1 million in Haiti and doesn't break their back. It's not a big deal for them, right? That's how we progress. I mean, that's how Israel is in a very strong place, because not only have the country's done well, but because so many Jewish folks have reached key places of affluence in so many countries, right? They're able to use that network of influence to boost up their country, right? And that's really the long-term thing, what we need to be, where we need to go, right? So I'm not, if you expect me to come on a live stream and say, oh, these Haitians, they're traitors for going to the DR and investing. Nah, man, I'm not gonna say that. I root for them. I root for them to go in, invest, be wildly successful, gain incredible influence in the countries they are. So they can influence their countries to treat Haiti right. Right. I want these investors, who are Haitian investors who are investing in Pinellas, to be so darn affluent that Dominican Republic could never ever think about passing legislation that would have stripped Haitians of their citizenship, right? As we know happened, right? And that's because we don't have enough Haitians of affluence and of power in that country to stop that, right? Imagine that same legislation happening, stripping Jewish folks of their nationality in this day and age today. That's not going to happen. There's too much influence, too much power, right? Just as an example, last time I mentioned, we read the Jewish example to death very often, but again, there's a reason why they're cited. They've done a great job keeping the money within their communities, always referring, working together, and pushing each other forward. And that's something at some point, Haitians have to figure out, that we're on the same boat. We sink or swim together, right? And so yeah, hats off to that project, and we'll keep an eye on it. And certainly, I will be there will be an episode of it at some point, for sure. There's no doubt about it, right? Looking through the chats here, right? Looking through the chats here. Let's see, Cloud 14, no problem, no problem. Doesn't seem you'll be able to come on, but no problem. We'll stay in touch. Certainly reach out. LM, what's up, man? What's up? What's up? Yeah, LM does confirm that the road is extremely bad. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, drop something in the chat. Let's take a look at IG real quick. Cyan ENT, what's up? Happy to have you in the chat today, and of course everyone else who's watching right now on IG, what's up? Good to have you on this Saturday afternoon. Now, let's talk about let's get into the first topic of the day. First topic of the day is Haiti. What's happening? What's happening in Haiti right now? What's going on? Where are we? In terms of development, where are we? In terms of the news, right? This isn't the Haiti Biz News Show. You guys know what the Haiti Biz News Show was. It was me doing a wrap up of what's happening each month. We're not doing that, even though we took a pause on Haiti Biz News Daily Show. I want to do it, but it's an issue of time and divergence of resources. Though I'm thinking about potentially bringing it back. Certainly since I do have an incredible editor who can help me put the show notes together rather well, but I just have so much going on. Even with the editor helping me put the show notes together, it would still take me half a day to kind of get well versed enough to talk about what's going on, because even though there's a bullet point, I'm someone who I like to know what I'm talking about. I like to know what I'm talking about. And so, I research one bullet point and I research another bullet point. Next thing I know, half my day is gone, half of a day that I don't even have the time in that day to do the stuff I have to do, even without Haiti Biz News, right? And so, and of course, apparently for some reason you guys really want me to talk it, because I try to put new hosts, to do Haiti Biz News with you guys, but you guys weren't watching. So, that's kind of where we are. But of course, I am going to return to Haiti Biz News at some point. But not me personally. I'm serious. I do want Haiti Biz News to happen. But we're going to do it differently. We're reboot to get people do real journalism, like real media journalism. We have people on location folks providing news, updates, interviews, the whole nine. So that will be back. Mark my words, that will be back. So, but I do want to give some high level bullet points in terms of what's been happening in the country. So there's been a lot of stuff happening on the Ariel Henry front. Of course, accusations of involvement with Ariel Henry have been really racking it up as relates to so many folks who have been very much implicated in the assassination of Jovenel Moise, all coming out either saying that Ariel Henry had some parallel connection to what's happened in terms of one of the guys, Carl. Carl. His first name's Carl. I'm sure you guys can help me with the last name. Has been seen at his house, right, despite being someone who themselves have been implicated in either financing and or direct contact with the mercenaries involved in facilitating that. We got Jar also saying that same Carl individual had basically, he's my puppet. He's saying that I can have full control over him, right? Of course, the phone calls have been repeatedly come up. Phone calls of him communicating directly with one of the mercenaries that night, right? And again, the New York Times article was particularly damning. And again, we'll see if somehow he survives this. I think the recent concessions that he's made as relates to the Montana Accord, for those who've been out the loop, was a session of civic-minded patriots of different walks of life who met at Hotel Montana over the course of several days in several different sessions to basically devise a way to move forward from a government perspective, power sharing political structure, to move forward where prime ministers were nominated, terms for basically a provisional government were nominated, were proposed, discussed, voted on ultimately, and then written up and then provided to the press, the media, and the government ultimately to pursue and to follow. Has it been? No. Ariel Henry has basically ignored it up until recently with the amount of pressure that the international media have been providing or pushing, which of course is causing, there's no way that, the ultimate handlers of the current state of Haiti. I'm not implicating Ariel Henry specifically, but the current state of how things are being managed in the country. And what I mean is, you have a core group. Core group is composed of United States, France, Canada, Germany. Help me out here. I'm missing two. Spain is in there. Spain. I believe there's one more country as well, maybe Brazil, that ultimately have basically put ambassadors in place to help advise and guide the situation in Haiti forward, in addition to, of course, what the UN used to do through MINISTA. And a lot of folks have expressed discontent with the level of involvement that the core group has had and the amount of influence. For example, the fact that Ariel Henry is even PM is specifically because the core group, at least a spokesperson for the core group, said at the time when Claude Joseph was prime minister that they recognized Ariel Henry as the prime minister. And literally within 24 hours, Claude Joseph was out, even though Claude Joseph before then was very much adamantly stating that he was the prime minister and he wasn't going anywhere. Right? But within 24 hours that the core group said, no, we recognize Ariel Henry, Claude Joseph was out, and Ariel Henry had assumed power, right? LM helped me with UN and EU. Those last two people I was missing. The United Nations and the EU are also on the core group. So thank you for that, LM. Right. of course, that's as it resolves right now. Henry is really in um, crisis management mode. I know right now he's in Cameroon holding some sort of summit for something or another. I guess we'll find out what's going to come out of that. But again, right now, last news we've heard, for example, the senators. There's 10 senators that were supposed to actually lose power or lose office on the 10th of January or 10th of January, but they're still there, right? It was announced that they were going to be allowed to stay in power up until 2023 of next year. Of course, um, um, I'm not sure how much choice Henry had, but certainly that was a concession, right? He offered as overture to appease and keep the peace in a way. Of course, this is a contrast to how Jovenel Moise handled it. Jovenel dismissed, the deputies and the senators a year prior, or 2 years prior, um, when their terms were up, right? Which again, a lot of folks question the constitutionality of Mr. Moise doing that at the time, right? Henry is not going to do that. It's a lot of folks ask me, Chris, where do you see, how do you see this ending, right? Especially since Henry has not announced an election. In the current situation that he's in, that he's an unconfirmed prime minister that has not been ratified by Parliament. His number one job, per the Constitution, should be exclusively focused on holding elections. I mean, a lot of folks have criticized, why did he go to Gonaïve? If you guys have been following the news, on the first of this year, he had made a trek to Gonaïve to follow the tradition of speaking in Gonaïve, particularly in the correct me if I'm wrong, by the way. I believe the official tradition is to go to Dessalines, city of Dessalines, and speak, or at least a particular important battle site of the revolution that happened in Gonaïve. And of course, he did one part of it, which was to go to a church, but the other part, was for him to actually hold a speech. He couldn't do it because what seemed to be him being under gunfire, right? And a lot of folks are asking, why did he even go? The express was to express, that we are the state. The Haitian government should be able to go where it needs to go to do traditional events like that, especially ones that are important for our independence and who we are in the state. But the other folks are saying, but bro, you're not even an elected official. Like, bro, like what? Or you're not even. What are you doing? Your job should be to hold elections. Like you're not a ratified elected official. What, right? And so, quite frankly, I'm with that camp. His number one job should be right now doing everything he needs to do in terms of security. I guess a lot of folks say, but Chris, between kidnapping and the gangs running the streets, how could elections be held? And you're absolutely right. That is a fair criticism that you're suggesting. You're saying. So guess what? His number one focus needs to be security. Tracking down these kidnappers, tracking them, breaking down that network, and building that ecosystem for elections to happen. Right. And by all accounts, everyone who's been involved in watching Henry have said that he's been doing a piss poor job of that. Right. And so, so that's kind of where we are on that front. And that's I hate to, me, I don't do politics. I'm not a fan of politics. We try to keep this focus on business and development. But again, so much of our roads lead to the government. in Haiti. All roads lead to the government in Haiti, and the dysfunction of the government ripples through every factor of life, every facade of life in Haiti, right? From being a private citizen and just trying to live your life and trying to go somewhere and you can't because gangs are fighting because insecurity of the state, unable to provide security. From the fact that if you are in business, the difficulties that are involved with every element, every aspect, every attribute of doing business. Again, all going back to the state, right? It's I have to spend a couple minutes, so do excuse me, updating you on how the state is doing and how things are going. Right. Right. But beyond that, I think that's why I encourage you guys to make sure you follow, subscribe, SeeJeanty, YouTube SeeJeanty, because we're bringing those individual stories of folks who are persevering, right? Individual stories of folks who are business owners who are finding a way forward despite the difficulties, and the fact that hopefully it can inspire you. Hopefully, it can inspire you to similarly understand that there is a path forward within the country, and it can be done, right? You just have to do it, right? And that's one reason why we do what we do, and you know, even though the individual stories of development through Haiti Biz News aren't being shared, you'll still find those individual lines of stories throughout the year as we drop new episodes, right? And as we keep the focus where it needs to be, which is business, our capacity to move forward, and the impact we're doing, right? So that's kind of where, as much as I want to talk about Haiti, to be quite frank, there's just, that's really the thorn. That's a big old lion of development, right? The big old thorn that's keeping us, in place, right? From doing anything else. That's what that is, and it's not just a thorn; it's a big old knife in the palm of our hand right now, and just not much more we can do in the meantime until there's some traction from that perspective, right? So let's before I move on to the next thing, let's pop back into the chat here and see what folks are saying. Right, we got the Eric Musso. What's up? Appreciate you watching. We have Terry Daniel. You're right, Leguani. The next destination hotspot, I think, has everything best to make it work. Right. Brian Patterson is saying, yep, agrees with the analogy. Manu Kassav's in the house. Manu Kassav is owned and run by an incredible entrepreneur. And I'm very happy that I remember I mentioned at the beginning of the hour that Hyper Distribution is always looking for new folks to partner with who have products that, well packaged, well produced, already in stores, ordering grocery stores in Haiti. And Manu Kassav is someone who's doing great work, and we're actually going to start selling his Kassav product stateside here, right? Hyper Distribution, which is a company that brings our products, trying to bring Haiti to the world. We have different products, as I mentioned, and this shipment, this container that's coming this month is going to have a good quantity of that Kassav. And I can tell you, a lot of folks have been asking for their Kassav. A lot of folks have been, Chris, do you have cassava? And so I'm pretty sure that's going to sell out pretty quick. We'll see. But Manu Kassav, hats off. Do Google, check out Manu Kassav. If you're ever in Haiti, do check them out. And of course, now there's a lane for you to purchase them here stateside, thanks to Hyper Distribution. Denzi says Abner is not from there, but there's a lot of interest developed in that area from the DR, due to it to be because it's the most economic depressed region in the area. Okay, I swore he's from there though. I really do feel like he has some connection there. But if you say so, Denzi, I'll take your word for it. I swore he had some sort of connection. Right? Let's see. Eva asked, you could right now. But I'm investing in other things right now, so that's not, you don't invest in so many things at once. Denzi follows up as was more focused on this: if Haitian entrepreneurs would be interested in developing a tourist hub right now across Pedernales, it would be beneficial to the country. I mean, I think they should, right? I think they should. I think certainly. That's the hope. As Pedernales, certainly becomes an economic powerhouse like Punta Cana, it will justify investment by individuals who are Haiti or on the Haitian side, and hopefully encourage the Haitian government to actually put roads there and real infrastructure there. But again, it's up to Haitians to actually start to do the groundwork for that. It's up to Haitians start to communicate and share those opportunities as they see it, and find others to put their money together and impact and do great stuff. So, but yeah, I agree. I think there's an opportunity there, especially if Penn Atlas becomes what it's being proposed to be. We got Tammy in the house. Tammy, what's up? Good to see Tammy in the chat. Tammy's a lawyer who's doing some really interesting stuff on the immigration side and also doing some impactful works on the social side. So happy to have you in here, Tammy. We got the Oluwajun Goat Center. Sounds delicious. We're gonna have some copy later. What's up? Ever asked something here saying I personally believe you should continue the news show because there's certain knowledge things. Listen, I can't. The new show has a cost, right? The new show, if it's just me, the live, has a cost of my time, has a cost of the cost of my time. And if I use a show editor to help draft the show notes, then there's a monetary cost, right? Which currently I don't have a source to cover it. And in the daily show, we did have a sponsor through Valor Canez, and I, have a good relationship with VC and certainly reach out to them, but I didn't have the views I felt comfortably going to someone to justify their sponsorship, right? And so, and their sponsorship was a big part of what allowed us to create those episodes, and pay for the host and pay for a videographer and pay for our official show note creator, right? And so, you personally wanted to see it is great, but the views, I mean, listen, I was expecting, quite frankly, maybe 1,000 views a show, right? We have to over 20, almost we're pushing 20,000 subscribers. I think 1,000 views a show would be fair, right? We're getting maybe 200 views, right? And I know anyone who's been following long enough knows I'm not about the views. It's about the quality and the content, leading the way. But that's when it was just my money doing my stuff. But when you're bringing in sponsors to you leverage your platform, you can't avoid the views matter, right? And unfortunately, Haiti Biz News, the Daily Show, just wasn't doing it. And I blame myself. I'm not blaming anyone else. I'm not blaming you guys not watching it. We weren't doing enough engaging stuff to keep you guys watching. And so when we reboot it, we're going to do more engaging stuff for you guys to watch it, right? But thanks for that perspective, Evo. Alexis Whitney Vanette says, when are the presidential elections supposed to be? They're not happening. They have not been announced. Great question for that. Let's see what other more Fortune. What's up? I agree. We should have much more decentralization, and technically we do. The Constitution does allow between Azek and Kazaks in that structure a very clearly defined way to decentralize. And what the folks don't really understand is, is that the current Constitution even allows Azeks and Kazaks to leverage the local tax and keep that local tax, locally for development. I think a lot of folks who criticize our current Constitution and want a new Constitution, we've never implemented our Constitution, the current one, the 1987 one, fully. I think implementing it fully would be interesting to see, right? But that's a whole different conversation. That is a whole different conversation, right? LM with a great question. What do you think of the opening of the St. Louis du Sud port? Says, I'm disappointed that it's a half job like any of the infrastructures, but it is positive for the people. I mean, listen, I think it's incredible. I sort of disagree with your disappointment, LM, because I think, number one, the fact that port was open, by my understanding, 100% of private investment. Number one, the fact that port was open through an innovative financing scheme where folks within the community, folks who wanted to see that project come through, were able to invest and get shares of the company, right? Meaning as this port grows and gains revenue, they'll be able to get paid on their investment, right? Since that money contributed, they'll be getting dividends at some point in the future, right? I think that's fantastic. I've been to St. Louis du Sud. You guys know I did an episode there. I know the magistrate there, Saeed, and great guy, and I'm sure the ripple effects will certainly help that community considerably. Is it? I'd love to hear why you were disappointed. The job count. The job count is going to grow certainly as more and more boats start to dock and start to use that port, especially since Matissa Port-au-Prince port is such a pain to use for so many folks, given the gang activity that's around there. But I don't know. I disagree. I'm very happy. St. Louis du Sud port. We need more ports open. We need more ports functioning. We need to decongest Port-au-Prince and having ports that are receiving and exporting product. I think that's a very important aspect and element of how Haiti moves forward and how Haiti can, dispower. Dispower, is that a word? Remove power from many of the sources that are causing headache, for the country, right? So thanks for that question and comment there. Oswald comes up. Too bad Haitians outside Haiti can't vote on Haitian next, whereas Dominicans outside. Yeah. Great point. A lot of folks don't know this, that Dominicans, no matter where they are, can vote on national elections in Haiti, whereas Haitians can't do that. But certainly that's one thing that I personally, I don't do much social engagement or social activism, right? But the one activist activity I've been a part of, in terms of groups and organizing and working with folks behind the scenes to push, has been that aspect of the diaspora of voting, despite not being in Haiti. And it's so weird. You have so many folks who regrettably are so naive and so little informed. They say, well, we shouldn't be, Haitian diaspora they left, they shouldn't be voting on stuff happening in Haiti. But like, when you understand 80% of the Haitian ethnicity who are educated are outside the country, right? And then you get mad because of the poor leadership that the remaining population are voting in, right? Like, there's no path forward. There's no scenario forward for Haiti that doesn't involve the full and uninhibited incorporation of our diaspora. There is no scenario, right? Anyone who talks it either is incredibly naive or is incredibly corrupt, right? And they want to keep power in their hands, right? But there is no path forward without the total blanket incorporation of Haitians within Haiti, despite wherever they may be. I think folks may not know this, but again, last time I bring up the Jewish people in Israel, but if you're of Jewish descent, you are automatically an Israeli citizen. In fact, if you go back to Israel as a Jewish person, they have programs to help reintegrate you into Israel. They'll give you a financial stipend. They'll help you for a certain amount of time with housing. If you invest a certain amount, in fact, no, I'm sorry. They invest in you. If you come back to Israel and you have a business idea, they will invest in that business idea, right? And you wonder why Israel's doing balls to the wall as well. You wonder why the Jewish folks are doing balls to the wall well, right? Because they have a better understanding of what the winning game plan is. The winning game plan is work together, right? And build each other, right? And so what Oswald mentioned with the Dominicans, and that's again one reason why Dominican Republic is doing so well. They get that too. And the fact that you can be a Dominican in New York. New York has its own department. In fact, Dominican, they go even farther, folks don't even understand is Dominican Republic, they have senators, or senators, elected officials that represent the diaspora specifically in their Congress. Right? There is a congressman that specifically, that's their role is to represent the Dominicans who are living outside their country. I mean, that's how far they've gone. Not just voting, but they literally have representatives for their diaspora in their country. Hello. And you wonder why. And you wonder why the Dominicans are eating our lunch. You wonder why. You wonder why you go to DR and you fly to Haiti and it's two different worlds of existence on the same island. Stuff like that, right? But again, the frustration for me isn't the fact that we don't have it. It's the frustration is that there's so many Haitians I meet who don't understand the importance of having easy facilitation for the diaspora. I mean, listen, as an American citizen, I can, in Haiti, I can go to the embassy, grab an absentee ballot, vote, and plop it in there, and my vote counts, right? I mean, hello, this is crazy. I feel like I'm talking to myself in an empty room, right? In any case, great for that question, Oswald. I appreciate that. Let's see. Teddy goes, Chris, what is the place in DR near Jacmel that you're talking about? Pedernales. Pedernales. PE is really literally the city right next to Ansapet. Literally, look on the border. Go east of Jacmel. Go on Google Maps. Go east of Jacmel, and go right on the border between DR and Haiti, and you see Ansapet and you see Pedernales. It's hard to miss. Right? LM goes. It's a positive, responding to something. Thank you, PS. Appreciate that. And said Virginia was I think you need to do something to do. I said if his regime was ousted, he was going to light a cigarette on both ends. I don't. It's not. That's old can of worms. Let's not go there today. And go do Valier today. So let's talk about the next bullet point for today, and that's SeeJeanty Media. Where are we going? Where are we going? How are we doing? Again, I'm incredibly optimistic because I'm empowering my videographers to do more. I've since I'm not in country for the first time in 5 years, I'm stateside, growing hyper distribution. But still, SeeJeanty Media needs to grow and push forward and keep dropping episodes and keep doing the mission that it needs to do. I've empowered them to do a lot more, to create their own scripts, to make their own contacts, right? And really challenge themselves to produce more content. I know this week, for example, we have 3 different shoots. In fact, today, after this live, I got to reach out to them, see how they did, because we had a shoot even today. Last week, we had 2 shoots, right? For the week following, we have a major shoot that I'm having them to go to the provinces to shoot. And so, I just want you guys to know that SeeJeanty Media, we're instead of slowing down, we're going more aggressively, right? And we certainly hope, that is reflected in the views. Certainly, we hope the episodes we drop are going to be shared and liked and well regarded. One thing that's going to be different, most likely, is the fact that there's going to be a mix between Creole and English. We'll see how that works. Right? Because typically, when in the past, when I've done Creole, I had at least to be able to capacity to put subtitles. But the incredible individual who was helping me, shouts out, you know who you are. Much appreciated, my dear. Unfortunately, she doesn't have the bandwidth to create these subtitles for us anymore. And I might as well use this opportunity to do an all call, by the way. If there's anyone who's interested, who has experience, transcribing, listening to Creole and transcribing into English, and would love to volunteer their time and their services, right? And as payment, I'd give that person free access to SeeJeanty private WhatsApp group, and the incredible conversations that are going on in there. If anyone's interested, message me. Send me an email at SeeJeantyShare@gmail.com, SeeJeantyShare@gmail.com, and let me know if you'd be interested. And basically, that job involves you get early access to our video, and hopefully within a day to 2 days, if you could, you would listen to the Creole, transcribe the Creole that you're hearing into English, which we would then, you just send that text file to back to us, and then we would put that English into our video as subtitles. So whoever's out there, whoever's listening, who'll be interested, let me know. But in the meantime, we're not, we don't have the bandwidth to, because back in the day, it used to be me putting the subtitles in, and Lord knows I don't have that time anymore. That used to be at least a day-ish job, depending on how long the video is. If it was like a 10-15 minute video, I could easily go, well, that's not a day-ish, but at least 4+ hours. How long it would take me. I don't have that. And though we were thinking about doing a voiceover, like an English voiceover for some of the Creole parts, we just don't have anyone in our office that really feels comfortable enough to be that English voiceover, especially since my experience with Haiti Biz News. I used to think English speakers were a lot more forgiving for accents and other people trying to speak English. Do I speak English? The way I just said it there. But not so much. The comments I got from some of the folks who were hosting Haiti Biz News, a lot of these folks were pretty clear. They were not accepting of an accent. Even though I understood that person very well and what they were trying to say, but so that has taught me through that experience, if it's not effectively someone who speaks English natively, it's not going to work. And so I didn't do too much pushback when my team was saying, yeah, Chris, we're not, we could do it, but it's just coming off funny and rough. I didn't do too much pushback to the voiceover. So in other words, a lot of these episodes are going to have this melange of English and Creole in the episode. We'll see how that works. Maybe that's going to be a good thing. I know a lot of folks who wanted more Creole in our videos, so we'll see how that works. Right, just FYI in terms of what's coming up. And again, I do hope someone does reach out and allows it, wants to work together to do subtitles. Okay, good. I just had a email in the chat here, and from the email, SeeJeanty share. Let me go ahead and share that link and get that person in here. All right. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, see the future of SeeJeanty Media. So that's the big thing, really, is that is the fact that we're gonna be a lot more aggressive in doing content. So it's kind of tricky because we're shooting so much. We have less time to edit, and so despite we're gonna have probably a pretty longer, because usually the way it would work would be we shoot something on a Saturday. By the end of that Friday, that episode is done and it's out, for the weekend. Because the team's shooting so much, 2-3 things in a week, it may take 2-3 weeks to get an episode out now, right? And then plus we have a much larger backlog. But I think that's a good problem to have. There's bad problems to have, and there's good problems to have. And I think that's a good problem to have, to have so much content in the backlog and you have much time to edit it. Just FYI on that. So in other words, I share that to say that we may not have content out every week like we're used to, but the content's coming. I promise, the content's coming, and it's going to be great content, right? So just FYI on that. And beyond that, I think that's it. Again, as always, I just want to thank everyone who's part of the WhatsApp group, the private WhatsApp group. Again, if you're watching this and you're a fan of what we're doing with SeeJeanty, I encourage you to join the WhatsApp group, because again, the reason why SeeJeanty Media is still providing new content is because of the private WhatsApp group and the members there. So I redropped the link again. I'm in there. Again, a lot of you folks who don't mind my personality and want to be in discourse with me more often, join the private WhatsApp. I'm in there, guys. I'm in there. I'm conversating, 24/7, just about, right? So I'm in there. Join that group. And again, what you're doing is you're helping support the content and what we're trying to do here. So join that. And on that same vein of support and what we're trying to do, let's talk about the NFTs. Let's talk about NFTs. For those who don't know what NFT is, NFT is a non-fungible token. It's basically, it provides you ownership of a digital asset, right? And it provides you let me say it differently. It provides you a certified ownership of a digital asset, right? There can be thousands of JPEGs of, of an emoji, smiley face. But there can only be one emoji that was owned by you, right? And you sell it to someone, you sell it to someone, you sell it to someone, right? And that track record, that record of ownership for that particular product, of that particular entity, digital entity, remains recorded, right? And it uses blockchain technology, right? And in particular, where you're getting it from. Let's say I knew Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan, sold me a JPEG of a basketball. That JPEG has value, right? Because it's a JPEG that I got from Michael Jordan. But what's separating me from lying, from saying, oh, I got the JPEG from Michael Jordan, it's like a bald-faced lie? Well, if it's an NFT, the NFT would clearly indicate who created that JPEG, and it was by Michael Jordan, maybe someone from Michael Jordan's team, and I bought it from him, right? It would show that, and it will be a certification that I got this JPEG from Michael Jordan, right? And it has value because it's a JPEG from Michael Jordan. Hello, right? And that's effectively what an NFT is, right? NFT is basically digital assets created that certify they came from someone, and now they have value because of that. Now, what does that mean for what we're trying to do? I just shared the link, SeeJeanty.com/NFT. And it's a landing page, it'll take you to then openseas.io, where you can actually purchase our NFTs. And what we're doing differently, we're not doing JPEGs. Here's what we're doing. Your favorite episodes, okay, are going to be available for sale on SeeJeanty.com. I'm going to say that again. If you like the Jockmail episode, which has 94,000 views right now on the YouTube SeeJeanty channel, if you like the Jeremy episode, right, that has pushing 70,000 views right now, you can officially become the owner of that episode, right? Officially become the owner of the Jockmail episode, and that's yours. It's yours. You are the official owner of that episode. It's yours, right? To do as you please, right? In fact, when you own it, you own the asset, and you even get a downloadable link to that episode for you to put it on your hard drive. Do what you as you please, right? And or keep it and resell it, right? For $50, that's yours, right? And of course, what happens after that, it's on you, right? If you want to hold on to it for a little bit, sell it when that episode hits 100,000, because that'll have value in of itself, because that Jockmail episode, which is pushed 94,000 views, it's going to be our first 100,000 viewed episode, right? That has incredible value, right? And you can own it. You can also own, and I need to create more of those. Like, for example, you can create, I'm also selling moments. Moments are specific instances within the ecosystem of SeeJeanty that you can own. For example, back at it again, right? The very first time I said it, I didn't even remember when I said it. I thought I said it a lot sooner, but the very first time I said it was at the very beginning of the Quarter Latin episode. I went to visit the restaurant Quarter Latin, and it was back at it again because at that point it was my second or third restaurant that I did. And so I said, hey, back at it again. And ironically, what makes it real funny is that as I said it, there was this car backfiring. Like, and you can hear the squeakiness, which is really annoying, but it adds spice to the moment. The first time I said it, God opened up and said, let's add this noise to it, and I couldn't be bothered to reshoot it, most importantly. And in that moment, it's currently available for sale, right? And I have to also put, and that's coming soon. The first time I said it at the end of the episode, because my next catchphrase is we'll be back at it again when we're back at it again. I have to publish that. I got to make sure that gets published before the end of this week. And that is a moment you can own. You can own that, right? You own the catchphrase, right? And own that moment, right? And that's part of the NFT experience, right? And there's something I want to add down the road, which will be any notes that occurred on that episode that you may not even know. For example, the episode where I went to Arise de Rosier, we went and there was a gunfire, and we came back and there was gunfire because to go to the factory of Arise de Rosier, it's in Kafu, and that day there was a big fight between the police and the gangs that are along Matissa. And so going there, we found ourselves in the middle of a gunfight, bullets wheezing through, over and around us, right? But we made it through, did our shoot. On the way back, we were thinking, oh, the gunfight must have been over. Nope. 4 or 5 hours later, the gunfight was even more intense. There was more cops and more guns blazing. And we had to hit a side street both times. We had to hit a side street to go over there, to miss and live. So little notes like that, I'll be adding to the episodes as we release them, that you'll have, certain context of what it took to create that episode. And the only person who can view that is the owner of that episode, right? And so that's going to be part of the NFT experience as well. And so again, for those who may not know how to own NFT, it's pretty easy. You basically buy a cryptocurrency, and particularly ours run on Ethereum. Sorry, Ethereum. Those iteration of Ethereum called Polygon is what our products are priced in, but unless it's based on Ethereum ultimately. And the price is equivalent to $50, right? Is equivalent to $50, right? But most importantly, while I'm spending some time explaining NFTs and everything, right, is because the funds we hope to receive, and we're looking to have a lot more. Right now, we only have 2 published right now, or 2 for sale officially right now, but we're going to have more. In fact, by the end of today, I'm going to have a lot more available. I just haven't had the time to review, because I'm working with someone in my company to actually create these. I had the time to review and make sure they're ready to go. They are ready to go, but I just haven't hit the sale button to make it available to purchase. But there's 2 available right now, right? The Anzavo episode and the moment of the first time I said back at it again. And so I challenge you guys. I encourage me with this NFT. Show me that there's interest. And I would love, before the end of the live stream is over, that both those NFTs were sold. That would be awesome. To have both those NFTs sold would be freaking awesome. Right? So go check that out. Go purchase it. And again, the whole idea of me offering the NFTs is to have more resources available to do greater content for SeeJeanty Media, right? As we produce content, I want to ensure that my guys, have consistent income, because they're getting paid. They're salaried guys who are getting paid. And additionally, our equipment, always need to be upgrading our equipment. As time goes on, technology goes on. Within the next 2-3 years, I got to get equipment that can shoot in 4K. That's a big thing. 4K is a big thing, and I think YouTube is moving towards giving priority in the algorithm to 4K. And so, that's what, understand nothing goes in my pocket. I just want to make it very clear when it comes to SeeJeanty Media and NFTs and all the different things you do, private WhatsApp group. I don't keep a dollar of it. It comes in and it goes directly to, okay, what does SeeJeanty Media need, right? Does it need to cover its salaries? Yes. And we have extra. Okay, what equipment can we buy, right? To continue to keep our quality very high and growing higher, right? So again, that link for those who are watching, it's SeeJeanty.com/NFT, right? SeeJeanty.com/NFT, right? Go check that out. Own, become an owner of SeeJeanty Media. In addition, we're growing wealth. We're growing wealth. We're growing, it's an asset. It's an asset that's going to grow in value, especially as we keep doing more things and keep doing more impactful stuff. Become an owner. Own it. Okay. So that's SeeJeanty NFTs. All right. Again, the challenge is out. Prove to me that this is something that can be useful, to help SeeJeanty Media going. And hopefully, by the time we're done, we can have someone purchase one, the Anzavo episode and/or the very first moment I say, back at it again, right? So let's take a quick pause. We have one more thing we're going to talk about today, but let's take a quick pause, see what's happening in the chat. If you emailed me a SeeJeanty share, check your email, because I've responded to folks who've emailed me. I've sent the link to the live share. If you're having issues, let me know. Love to have someone on the live today to just kind of diversify the conversation a little bit. So again, if you're watching and you send me an email, go refresh your email, because I did respond to you. Okay. Let's just hop back in the chat real quick before we move on to the final news story. Right. And there's a Diaspora Summit underway. Oh yes, that is true. There's a Diaspora Summit underway. Man, I gotta watch that. You're right. If you want, if LM, if you could share the link so folks can maybe open up a tab, and then once we're done here, they can finish watching that. It would be great. So feel free to share that link to the Diaspora Summit. It's supposed to be pretty cool, right? Right. Let's see what else folks are saying. Diaspora needs to connect with the rural folks. Rural folks need investment as well. Off-topic question: has the Haitian entertainment industry gotten into animations yet? Yeah, that's off topic. I want to be able to answer that. You should do an interview with Ice-T. What? No. Remember, guys, I don't do politics, man. There's no bigger lightning rod of politics than Ice-T. It's like me trying to do an episode or an interview with the son of Duvalier. There's certain folks that, there is not a way to not be politically connected the moment you entertain an interview with them. Right. And so Ice-T certainly is one of them. Right. So no, I would politely say no to that, just for the sake of staying apolitical. Right. A big respect to Mir Ballet Nap. I appreciate you for watching SeeJeanty on a big screen. Appreciate it. Haiti is the only place I want to invest my money. Listen. During says something. Haiti is the only place I want to invest my money. Okay, cool. But to be able to invest your money, you have to be in a situation that you yourself are financially solvent. And if you're in a situation where you're making yourself financially solvent, why not help others in your immediate area to become financially solvent by working together, by maybe doing an investment or two locally, right? And then when that really flowers, then you have even more money to invest in Haiti, right? So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying don't invest in Haiti. I'm saying is make sure you're solvent where you are first, and then impact, right? Right. Let's see. See, I like this. I like this comment, right? See, où doit faire mission en Creole, right? So you get that a lot, right? And of course, this person came in late. He didn't see the explanation in Creole that I gave, right? But again, you always have at least one person, a few people who come in. They're frustrated because this is how dare there exist any conversation in Haiti happening is not in Creole, right? There's a degree of different emotions happening, right? But the situation is, as I explained, is that there isn't anywhere online that there's a conversation on Haiti happening in English, right? For the world to understand. It's not just, us conversating amongst ourselves about Haiti really isn't going to go too far, especially when you understand that, you get on a plane, half plane are people who are doing things in Haiti, impactful things that involve, infrastructure, our youth, between their education and that they do. The fact that you have a core group that's sitting on top of our government and dictating what the government should do, shouldn't do. They're not speaking Creole, right? And there isn't a place where they're getting information. Talking about just any folks, that isn't um, English, right? Vice News, CNN. When Vice News and CNN come to Haiti and they do their terrible news reporting, focused on trash and filth. When you have Vice News come and do an episode on barbecue, right? What language are they doing it in? They're not doing it in Creole. They're doing it in English and sharing it, and this English is being shared to everyone in the world, and everyone in the world now has a permanent understanding of Haiti that the only person worth interviewing was barbecue, right? Versus, there's this one guy here called SeeJeanty who's providing information that is much more nuanced, much more complex in that same language. And now the hope is I have about 33 viewers of the live right now. Got about fluctuating between 5 and 10 on IG. Yeah, it's not a massive count, especially on. I've had lives that have pushed 150, 200 in the past, but nonetheless, it's a small impact, a small push in the direction of helping enrich the understanding of Haiti of more than just the news headlines. There's much more to it, and there's lanes for us to move forward and improve the country. And I can't do that in Creole. I'm sorry, right? That impact can't happen. Doesn't happen in Creole. Sorry, right? And finally, I'll say this last piece in Creole. Finalement, bonjour, Kani. Il y a trop côté que vous avez recevoir nouvelle en créole. Honnêtement, si c'est que vous pas comprendre ça m'a dit, et même là peut-être vous avez préférence pour un blanc qui a parlé en créole qui lourd et bon, il y a l'autre côté qui a recevoir nouvelle et ou gen nèg toku Fernando, ou gen nèg toku Foucault, ou gen plusieurs live qui a passé jour à jour, et côté nouvelles bêtises, etc. fait en créole. Et bon, c'est pas que ou pas gen ligne ou de travail, et tu peux travailler la caille, c'est pas que ou pas gen côté ou ga joindre à faire en créole. So comment? Mais montre on l'autre côté qui a ba émission yo, des informations comme ça en anglais. OK, je suis bien content. Je suis utiliser des ans et demi. Déjà, je suis 7 ans pour vraiment laguer créole. Moi, j'aime développer laguer créole. Moi, je suis bien content pour faire créole là. Émission créole net. Parce qu'il y a des côté que tout le monde du monde, dans le langage international, c'est anglais, ça, c'est anglais, c'est ça lié, que je occasion d'information en créole, c'est la raison qu'on fait en créole. Mais c'est pour qu'on comprenne, mais c'est pour n'importe qui attend, qui devine trop tard, qui pas tant d'explications, qui me débat dans le commencement vidéo, qu'on comprenne, nous besoin d'espace, qui est information sous pays nous, qu'a fait en anglais, parce que tout le monde, du monde à recevoir nos values sous pays nous, dans c'est pas encore à recevoir. Okay. All right. Second disclaimer, just had to explain that to Connie since he came in late, I'm sure, right? But I do appreciate that nonetheless. Let's see. Tommy says, I think the core group of the blokies to business development investment is a lack of three legs of government without the balance of power, of course, business will stumble. I agree with you, right? I agree with you. Abner is Dominican. Get your story straight. Okay. I think it was a response to someone saying Abner was Arabic. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. So So that's the comments. So appreciate that. So let's jump into the last piece, last update I want to give everyone. And that, of course, has to do with hyperdistribution. Hyperdistribution, we're doing incredible work. I must say, it's been, humbling to sort of be in a situation where we've in such a short time oh my goodness, how many stores are we in now? In fact, I'll pull up the retail map and show you guys. I'm gonna share my screen in a moment so you guys can kind of get a sense of how we're doing. It's been incredibly humbling to have so many Haitian products that previously were not available, right? Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Right, and I'll go to the website. You guys, I think, should be able to see what I'm seeing right now. Right, you can see the hyper distribution website, and if you go to where to buy, right, what you'll see is the map, right. Of course, the one time I'm on live, the map isn't wanting to load. Let me hit that refresh button. Okay, there we go. Don't embarrass me, map. Don't embarrass me, map. You've worked every single time I've accessed you. You can see the retail map of where we are. We're, of course, in South Florida, primarily right now. And though we've sold to retail partners outside of South Florida, I got to reach out to them. I got to put a little note anyway for myself right now to reach out to them, and so I can add them, especially if they're selling to people locally. I have to reach out to, because I had folks who've contacted me directly through the website to purchase wholesale product for resale, and I've shipped to all across the country, including even Canada. Different products for resale, and reach out to previous wholesalers to add to retail map. I add that. So we do have places outside. In fact, we're gonna, at the end of the stream, I'm going to be shipping out product to New York. We have a retail partner up in New York that's going to be stocking some of our product for their store, right? And so we're in quite a few more places than just what's listed. But of course, we don't have a fixed effort yet in any other place. But the goal is to be in Orlando and New York and Boston and Montreal. We want to hit the places where that has a lot of Haitians first, but of course, eventually be everywhere. The goal is to be everywhere, right? As you can see, all the places we currently are. You can see from all the way down to Miami, all the way to as far north as Palm Garden. We have stores that are stocking our product, and of course, we have more to go to. I got to get down to Homestead. I know there's a lot of Haitians down in Homestead. We got to get down to Homestead. Here's a different food partners, retail at a glance. You can see the ones that we're consistently at: Food Town, Bravo, Keys Food. We're over there. We're on Amazon. We're on Etsy. We're on Price Choice. We're at smaller stores like F&M, West Indian Grocery Store, right? And there's a full list of all the places we sell and the products that are being sold at those locations, right? For example, Food Town Market. You can see we break it down all the way to even the aisle, right? The aisle, you can find Cafe Lux in aisle 10 and 14 at Food Town Market down in Davie, Florida, right? In GMT, you can see our black castor oil and our Jean Toya. And of course, if you're asking Chris, what products exactly do you sell? Like, what products exactly could I find at these stores, right? I'll pull that up in just a moment. You'll see it in a minute. But, again, you got a full list. We have, if I were to count, let's see how many rows. Let's try to do a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5. Oh, okay. Well, we'll count some other time. And you can see all the different products we offer right here, right? We have our Jean, we have our Essence Vanilla. In fact, we got to there's one product that we're just going to start off from selling that I don't see here, and that's our Kasav. And then we're going to get that, Manu Kasav, we're going to get that list back up there. Man, I thought I made an email about that to get him back up there, back on website, but we'll get that back on there for that new product we're going to be selling. But you can see Melde or our honey, right? So these are products we're currently selling, and certainly we hope to continue to increase what we do. I know a lot of my stores have been asking for chocolate balls like those little chocolate, balls that Haitians like to put to make chocolate drink and different things. I gotta get a supplier for that. Lalo is a big one. Folks have been asking, so I gotta get a Lalo supplier for that as well. That's on the to do list within the next couple months, right? And so these are the products you'll find. Look for them. You can get them to move in these stores. If you're in South Florida, I need your help. I need your help to buy these products, because you're asking for them. They're there, right? And get them to move so we can get reorders from these stores, right? And so remember a big part of what I've expressed many times on SeeJeanty has been inconveniencing yourself. That's the difference. A lot of folks say, how can I help Haiti? Helping Haiti, you don't necessarily have to invest in Haiti to help it. Honestly, quite frankly, the best thing you can do is just buy made in Haiti products. Between visiting, and again, visiting right now is hard to do given this current social, economic, social, political, specifically situation happening. I wouldn't necessarily advise you to visit Haiti right now. Right? Let's be quite frank. I'll be honest. It's the first time in the history that I've been, involved in promoting Haiti. That I'm kind of slow to tell somebody to come to Haiti right now, given just what's been happening. Right? I mean, listen, our president got assassinated. Hello, right? But it isn't a security risk to drive instead of going to the Publix right next door to you. Drive maybe 2 miles down, right? And to the store that has Haitian coffee and Haitian honey. Yeah, it's gonna be $1.50, $2 more than what's that cheap one? That General Mills coffee, or that super cheap coffee, Paillon. Yeah, of course. But that's coming from Colombia, and Colombia could care less about your dollars, and there's no impact that your dollars are doing for Paillon, Pillion coffee. But you convenience yourself to go out and buy Cafe Lux. You convenience yourself to go out and buy Mail de Or. Hello, you're generally impacting Haiti as much as you would going to visit, because your money is ultimately going to flow to that Haitian producer who is employing Haitians and buying from farmers. You're helping fortify that supply chain by a simple act of inconvenience yourself. And what's crazy is I'm on Amazon. What's crazy is we're on Amazon. Every single one of our products, right, for distribution, you will find on Amazon, right? In fact, if you go to our community page, go to youtube.com, our community page, you'll find the links. But what's funny too, if you go actually click, let's say you go to coffee, right? Let's go to coffee. You can get a wholesale quote, but also if you just want to buy one single, Cafe Lux, well, guess what? I put that link here, and just like that, you can buy Cafe Lux coffee directly. Look at it, it's Prime. Look at that, it's Prime. So if you have Amazon Prime, it's at your doorstep within 2 days. So yeah, I just told you go and inconvenience yourself, but you don't really even have to inconvenience yourself because Amazon will bring it to your doorstep, right? And so for folks who are perplexed and are always racking their brains, how can Haiti improve? Where's the hope for Haiti? How are we? Listen, it's not charity. It's supporting Haitian producers, right? And honestly, my margins are very, very slim, right? They barely cover the cost of me buying a container, putting all this product in it, bringing it over here. Barely costs. I mean, my warehouse, as I'm talking to you right now, doesn't really even cover that cost. I'll be quite frank. we're just pushing, as any young venture is, right? But it's a volume business, is what I'm trying to get at. And so the more it's purchased, the more we'll be able to do, right? And so if you're watching this, visit hyperdistribution.com. Check out our products. Ask for a wholesale quote. We'll send you a big box of things for resale. And if you just want one or two products, listen, there's no reason not to, right? I mean, look, I'll even go back and go to our Jojo, and even our Jojo. That's another big seller of ours. Our Jojo is available for purchase right now, right? Just same thing. You can buy on Amazon our different products, right, that are available for sale, right? And so and of course you get a wholesale quote, right? And so In fact, let me put a little note here because I think some links may need to be updated. Update Amazon links, because there's been a few different things we've done since we first published the website. For example, I'm not too sure those links actually go to the Prime version, right? So I'm just putting a little note on there as an idea, as that thought came to me, so I don't forget that, right? And so that's kind of where we are. Of course, you can go to the youtube.com, SeeJeanty, and then you go to our community page, and there's a post, there's a few different posts that have all the current links that are available. But again, that's how we move the country forward. And again, I'm not about talking, right? That's the thing. That's what folks, I'm not a media personality. I've always made that clear. Like, I'm not a media personality. Like, I'm someone who, I see problems that bothers me tremendously about Haiti, and I move and I make it happen, right? For a long time growing up in America, I didn't see the sort of media content about Haiti. And so guess what? One of the first things I did, in addition to doing business in Haiti, a big business need that I saw, which was staffing. My first business in Haiti was staffing, because I saw there was every business owner I talked to, they couldn't find good qualified people, and so many qualified people who had great resumes couldn't find work. There was an issue, them connecting, right? And by the way, if my connection is acting up, y'all let me know. I'm getting a little 1-star bar on my stream right now, so y'all let me know how that's looking like right now. If there's any issues, I can try to do something on my side to fix it. And so in addition to that, the other big problem I saw was I didn't see enough, again, of our narrative being shared and the way it should be shared to empower us, to encourage us. And so that's how the media company, became to be. Not because I have any aspirations to be famous, or, although I appreciate when I'm walking around nowadays. Oh, SeeJeanty, how you doing, man? Chris, I love the, dapping somebody up who's been a long time watcher. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. But that's not the goal, not the intent. I don't have no secret desire to be well known. In fact, low key, I kind of look forward to the day I can step back and sort of, not be in the limelight, because everything is moving and facilitating the way it should be. But I created it because there was a need, right? And so for the same reason, folks who've been watching SeeJeanty Media long enough, I've been talking about the need to support our economy, support made in Haiti products. And so guess what? I'm not someone who's going to talk about it. I'm going to act about it. And so hyper distribution has come into existence, and we're doing great stuff. And the coolest thing about hyper distribution, honestly, is the fact that, it's a company that actually is doing capitalism the right way. We've raised, I love saying this sentence, it's one of my favorite sentences. We've raised $115,000 amongst the Haitian, 100% Haitian investors, right? Haitian investors, who've watched this show, watched this live stream, right? Who've wanted to be a part of that impact and doing this sort of work, right? Last time I was on, I did say that we had an open investment round occurring, and folks stepped up. We had last live stream, we were able to gain another additional 15,000 in new investment dollars, right? Which is incredible, right? So I'm letting folks know, again, if folks are interested in coming in and investing. I'm gonna share a link right real quick, right? info@hypro.solutions, right? And of course, our preferred minimum, because again, we're not talking, this isn't a GoFundMe. If you think, God bless you, but if you're in a situation where all you can give is $10, probably you're not ready yet. Focus on your situation first. Focus on, getting into a situation where you're much more financially solvent before you think about investing. But so for folks who have a few thousand that they could contribute to really empower what we're trying to do, right? Message us. We certainly could love to have you as a shareholder. Love to have you involved in this. Love to have you to be able to push hyper distribution forward, because bringing stuff over and holding it here and then getting it to stores it's a capital intensive exercise. I can tell you that right now, right? It requires capital, right? And it's been so incredibly awesome, proving folks wrong that Haitians can't work together. Haitians don't work and don't invest together. Don't do the right things together. And again, I am about um, uh, finding issues that we've collectively failed and attacking it head on, attacking it headstrong. And guess what? My intention, this needs to be successful. It has to be successful. You know why? Because we have a lot more other big projects we have to do together as Diaspora, right? There needs to be a real estate. I know a big thing folks have been hitting me up for a long time, actually, and I'm not ignoring it, is a real estate investment company that's creating affordable housing in Haiti, right? That's a big thing. A lot of folks have asked me for a long time, Chris, affordable. Are you showing all these nice luxury houses? But what about everyone else? What about the others, right? What about the middle class Haitian? What about the lower income Haitian, right? Well, first off, I can say the lower income Haitian, there's no country in the world that doesn't have a program where the government is not involved in building affordable housing for their low income people. And quite frankly, that's a government job. That's a government role and responsibility. If they have to build those houses themselves, and or incentivize private actors to do so, right? So let's be clear. That's a failing of government. Let's be very clear on that. But certainly when it comes to middle income homes, right, affordable homes that are priced for our middle class, right? There's not enough of that, right? And there should be companies involved in building those things, right? And certainly, I need hyper distribution to be a successful example of what happens when folks work together and invest together. So we can continue to do other things as a diaspora community involved in investment and in developing our country, right? Where you don't necessarily have to hop on a plane and be by yourself in an investment exercise. You just plug it in. You plug it in and you move forward and you impact, right? And that's the direction we're going. That's what we're trying to do. But before we can move to phase two, I call that phase two, we got to get phase one successful, and that is getting hyper distribution in more stores, getting our products in every corner of the country, getting it. In fact, I'm talking to Publix right now. I'm talking to Walmart right now. I'm talking to major distributors right now to get our products in their pipeline and flow it even more aggressively and really help us hit the next level of operation, right? And so that's where we're going. And quite frankly, the second round of investment ask, I think it's the most impactful investment around, because quite frankly, that first initial investment, it went to getting stuff up and going. It went to learning certain aspects where every dollar that's provided now, it's going to go what? It's going to go directly towards more inventory, which i.e. more money coming in, right? And or productivity enhancing equipment, for example, a forklift, right? That would be massive to be able to get. Right now, we're having to rent a forklift when we have a major need, for example, when a container comes, or for example, a truck. Right now, we're having to rent a truck when we have major deliveries that we have to do, right? U-Haul rentals, right? And so right now we're in a spot where we have it figured out. In the month of December, we generated $11,000 of revenue, actually 12,000, in total. When we looked at everything, all the numbers settled. This month we've had some delays with the container, but we project once the container gets sold, the value of that container, which we already half of what's in the container has already been sold. What's crazy is half of what's in the container has already been sold. We have a backlog. We have folks who are telling us, Chris, the moment your product gets off the container, we need it in our stores. Let us know. I have half of what I just said, half of our container. We have folks who can come into our warehouse to pick it up. Right. So we're in a spot where we figured it out, right? Right? But to keep going at an aggressive clip, right? To keep going at that level where we want to be, we're that second round of investment is open, it's available, and I'm gonna hit that one more time. Info@hypro.solutions.com. hypro.com. Well, not .com. Info at hypro.solutions. Reach out. Let's have a conversation. Love to have you as a shareholder, particularly if you have a lot more to offer. Love to have you on the board. We have a board of directors, and we're a incorporated business, right? And based in America, but we own an SA in Haiti, and so this way you have all the full actions you would expect to be able to invest in something. But we own the SA that's in Haiti, right? So you're indirectly investing in a Haitian company in the safest way possible, because to invest directly in a Haitian company, directly in Haiti, right? It's a long, arduous process. It's not fun, believe me. It's not an enjoyable exercise, no matter which law firm you use, right? But in any case, so that's just a little conversation I wanted to give on hyperdistribution, how we're doing. I'm incredibly optimistic for hyperdistribution future. Our revenue is trending in the direction it needs to be trending to, and I think I would love for this to be when people think about what Haitians can do, when the Haitian diaspora can do when we're working together. I would love for every time that's cited, that comes up, that hyperdistribution cited as an example, right? So we'll see. But that's up to you. That's up to you who are watching. If that's something you want to help create, reach out to me. And let's talk. Let's talk about how much you would want to contribute, how many shares that translates to, and let's make it happen. Let's make it do what it do. Let's make it do what it do. Right? And so that's the last big thing I want to talk about. And I didn't see, maybe that person went away there, but I did. Maybe that person was having issues to get on the live. But again, if you did send a request to be on the live and you're still watching this, again, go to your email, refresh. I did respond with a link for you to be able to join. So do take a look at that. Don't miss out on an opportunity to be part of the live right now, right? Let's go. Just jump in the comments for the last bit of time here and see what folks are saying. I've been neglecting Instagram, so let's go on Instagram and see what Instagram has been talking about. Eve Bernard, Meredith, hey, do you buy honey from farmers? So understand the model for us. The model for us is, in a lot of these businesses, listen, we're not the first business to ever do what we're doing right now, okay? But a lot of these businesses, what they do is they try to do it the hardest way possible, right? Which is what? They go to the farmers, and they, directly start working with the farmers, buying from the farmers. A lot of times, what the farmers are producing aren't American export grade ready. So you're spending time getting the farmers to produce what they need to produce, investing in the farmers, which is, again, all noble, great things. But the amount of capital you need, even before you get it on a container and get it over here to America, you've burnt so much energy, time, cost, and so much risk, because at any time, pay à déblousé, right? and next thing you know, I see someone in my lobby. Good to have you. You know who you are. I'll get you on here in just a moment. Let me talk really fast, and then so I can get this person in here. So many times, we focus so much. A lot of these companies and businesses, they focus on the riskiest part. Where the big difference with hyper distribution is that we leverage those in the community, in the business environment, that have already done the hard work. For example, Cafe Lux. The reason why we partner Cafe Lux is because Remy Tifusa's father has been in the coffee business his whole life. He's been in the coffee business his whole life. He has a network of farmers of over 1,000, 10,000, I believe is what the count was, that they know him. They grew up with him. He's invested in them. They've invested in him, right? He has a facility in Jacquemont already that processes it. He's already in every store in Haiti, right? That's another big requirement. Like for me to buy from you, you can't just be a guy or a woman who has a little operation in their garage and is producing and thinks that they're ready for America. You have to have a track record of selling in grocery stores in Haiti already, right? And then I buy from you, right? Because you scaled, you've shown you have a business, right? And it's less risky for me. It's less risky for my investors, right? Because at the end of the day, I do not ever want to be that person to make that phone call and say, hey, we didn't work, we didn't make it, right? Cash flow is less than expenses and we're out. And that's because I strategically structured our business to partner and work with companies that have figured out the hardest part already, right? Which is, for example, they're working with farmers. So Mel de Or, the honey we purchase it from Mel de Or, the company, and they've been working with farmers for years. They have a network of farmers they purchase from that give them the exact quality, exact assurances in terms of health and sanitation, and they've been investing with them for years, and I buy from them, right? And so, no, I don't directly work with the farmers, but we work with companies that directly work with the farmers specifically to help, that pipeline and that level of distribution, right? And reduce our risk. Because again, it's one thing to do stuff with your own money, but when you're taking investors' money, you have to do things in the most riskless way possible, while at the same time maximizing your return, right? So thanks for that question. I'll be back on IG to see what folks are saying in a moment, but I do want to welcome someone in to the live here, someone who I have tremendous respect for, who's been doing some great things in Haiti, who's Haitian diaspora, Haitian American, who's reconnected and impacting in Mont Saint Nicolai. So I want to, without much further ado, want to bring in Cloud 14. What's up? What's up, man? How you doing, bro?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Man, good to have you. So where are you at now? Are you stateside or are you in Mont Saint Nicolai at the moment?
Yeah, I'm stateside right now.
Okay, good stuff.
I'm trying to the volume is a little low. I can't hear you on this phone. I'm not sure what's up. I'm trying to
test 1 2.
A little bit louder here.
Test 1 2. Let me know.
I'm new to this. I don't know how it works, so I'm trying to.
Oh, he X'd out. I guess we'll get Cloud 14 back in once he reloads the link and gets back in. So while we're waiting for Cloud to do his thing and get back in, let me get back to the chats here real quick and see what folks are saying in IG world. Oh, there's Cloud.
I'm back.
Yes, you're back.
Okay.
Is it sound a little better now?
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. But listen, Cloud 14, for folks who may not know you, right? Let folks know. Break it down. Cloud 14, who are you? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? And of course, don't forget to share your YouTube channel so folks can follow you and keep track of the incredible work you're doing. So break it down to folks, man.
All right, man. Appreciate you. So my name is 14 L. Fawson, actually. I am from Maouj, Haiti, in the northwest department of Mont Saint Nicolai, and here in the States, I'm a teacher. I went to school for business, but from my junior year and on in college, I wanted to do things that make an impact, that help. So in 2017, that was my first trip back to Haiti as an adult, and while I was there was a lot of things that really changed my everything, basically changed me. And I spent that whole summer just giving things away, just giving people things, and after that, I wanted pretty much come up with a plan on how to make an impact. Before I even keep going on about me, man, I really appreciate everything that you're doing. You just influencing a lot of, young Haitians in a positive way. And you always say that, you're a doer. And I'm kind of the same way. I don't like to complain about things. So ever since my first trip back as an adult, I've identified a couple of ways to help, and making a difference. One of the reasons I'm not on here talking a lot or online talking a lot, I don't want to, be taking, I don't want to say the wrong things. I'm very passionate as far as what I do. I'm very passionate as far as being a Haitian American. So I try to stay off of the internet so I don't say anything wrong. So I really appreciate everything that you're doing. So since my first trip back, man, I started a business to create employment. My brother and I started a nonprofit. to make a difference. And it's not, I know you always talk about nonprofit, so you're not a huge fan of those things, but my junior year or my senior year in college, that's when the earthquake happened in Haiti. And you know, and I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I know how nonprofits work. So my brother and I and a few friends, we started our own nonprofit to make a difference, you know, in a positive way for Haitians in the countryside. So again, I don't want to talk too much. So my name is Fortunel Faustin. I have, you know, I'm not a media person. I have a business down in the countryside of Haiti in Maouche, and also the nonprofit that, you know, my team and I were working and trying to make a real difference over there. Yeah.
What remind me again? What, your YouTube is what?
My YouTube is Cloud Fortin.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna put that link real quick here.
You.
So as we're chatting here, folks can go ahead and hit you with a subscription. So to be fair, I want to make sure you know that I don't have nothing necessarily against not-for-profits or you know, it's how they execute, and so long as not-for-profits do it in a way where they consider sourcing from Haiti first, they consider leveraging, you know, Haitian workers first, which I believe, I'm sure you're all about, right? You know, then, you know, not-for-profits can be fine, can be impactful. And I think especially as over time, even though you started with not-for-profit, but I know you're doing for-profit ventures. For example, you got a restaurant going on, you have a lodging going on, right? You know, I think as over time, folks do transition to that entrepreneurial side of things, then that's fine. That's fine. So I just want to just put that out there, right? But one thing I've admired much for how you've done things, Cloud Fortune, is that, you know, you provide that kind of raw streets of your area. You provide that sort of perspective when you're on your moto and you're saying, "Yo, here's what's happening. You're on the street side, and you're you know, just showing off another aspect of your city. You know, the paths you have to take. You know, the constructions that you have going on. You know, I think that's really cool. I think that's a really cool aspect of you know, providing a perspective that, quite frankly, I want to start doing as well, right? So what kind of what inspired you to sort of start providing that perspective? Now, like, what made you say, you know, let me show folks, you know, how it is for me, like what's driving that?
All right, so as you can see, I finally got my headphones on, so I can hear you clearly finally.
Nice.
So I apologize for moving the camera. So yeah, man. So you know, like you always say, like, I'm all about action. I'm not a social person, so I don't like being online and just seeing things. A lot of people like to comment. A lot of people like to say things about Haiti. A lot of people have to can like to say, like, I want to go back and so on and so forth, but they never actually go and, you know, check out Haiti and do those things. And a lot of people like to talk negative as well. So I'm all about action. So since my first trip, like I said, in 2017, man, wherever there's a problem, I want to do what I can to fix it. That's just how I am. I feel like it's almost like a curse because I always put myself in hard situations trying to solve things, right? So since I went back, it was hard. Like, it broke my heart, really, to see how things were over there. Again, not to be negative, but, you know, after being in the States for so long and going back, you know, it's not really the Haiti that I knew as a kid. So while being there, like I said, I went to like the whole northern part of Haiti, Cape Haitian, and so on and so forth. And, you know, everything that I see, every place that's nice, that's, you know, has a standard, was not owned by a Haitian. Like, and I went to Cap Delhi and all those different places. It's not really owned by like a Haitian that lives in the country, right? Like, I don't even want to get into this, but like a Haitian that look like me, they're not owned by a Haitian that look like me. So, and when I went to my town in Maouche, there was nothing there. Like, every night people had to play soccer in the streets. That was like really the only form of entertainment. And I'm a very prideful guy. I'm very prideful in being Haitian, as far as being black and so on and so forth. Again, not to bring race into anything, but I really wanted to do something that, you know, that can represent, you know, Haitians. So when I was there, I wanted to come up with, like, that's how I pretty much started the business. So the restaurant is a place for people to really go to and, you know, escape the realities of how things are over there. and also to give them kind of like a first world type of environment they can really relax and enjoy themselves, right? And I also wanted to create employment. So as of right now, we have like 10 people working in the whole restaurant thing. And you've commented about restaurants over there before. I wanted to talk to you about that. And again, you're right. You're right. So when you do business like that in the country, there's not really a lot of money going around for you to really make a profit from that. So you are right on that end. But another thing that I experienced as far as the business, not only that it creates employment, really use things that are local, right? But also is that the community itself can't really support it, right? So if you go in there and spending big bucks, because I've spent a lot of money in Haiti since 2017, is that the community itself cannot really support that type of investment. But one thing I know, like I go to Haiti every 2 months, 2.5 months, is that you can't get anything good to eat anywhere. Like, what I'm saying? Like if you're from the States, you can't just eat street food. And the restaurants, people are not used to using like freezers and so on and so forth. So the quality of food is not that good. So I know you wanted to come to Maui. If you come to Maui and my business wasn't there, you'll probably starve for the time that you're there because because the food, like the quality of food is not up to your standard, right? So all of those reasons, again, you're right on the investment tip, but as far as the importance of those small businesses being built in the countrysides and other parts of Haiti, it's huge, right? So it's kind of like I'm a social entrepreneur. You're a real entrepreneur. I'm a social entrepreneur,
You're an
right?
entrepreneur, man. You're opening businesses.
You know what I mean?
And in fact,
so,
my book that I wrote, 101 Ways to Make Money in Haiti, restaurants are in there.
and I have that.
Thanks for purchasing.
Yeah,
it's in there, right? And if I recollect what I wrote, specifically what I wrote was it gave me a real most impact in the provinces, especially, right? Because there is a big need for in a lot of provincial towns for just what you described, a place that has good quality, consistent food that has when you go, and you ask for stuff on the menu and half the menu. 3/4 of the menu isn't available. Nobody gets out. Redo your menu, man. What's going on?
Yeah.
But I don't understand the logistics issues as involved in Haiti as well. But no, I'm a firm believer of the right business for the right location in Haiti, right? And usually, my usual critique when it comes to restaurant relates to the folks who I know who basé in Delma, basé en Pétionville, basé en Toujours, et Nazon, all those areas that you can't walk without hitting a restaurant.
Right.
Every 2 houses, there's a restaurant. There's a bar resto, right? But not in the provinces. The provinces are generally vierge, and you are welcome those sort of investments, right? As a first step, because how could you invest in an area where you just described, right? If the people investing don't have a good lodging, especially if they're not from there, right? And don't have a good place to consume calories, right? And so it's an important first step to the next step of different types of investment that can occur. So don't feel if anyone watches my videos and watches what we do here, I am not here to knock down anyone who's impacting Haiti, right? I have particular opinions that of certain things that should maybe more Haitians should put more energy towards, but it's not to knock the individual who's doing what they're doing, right? I salute anyone who's impacted. Listen, Haiti is a massive elephant, right? It's a big elephant. We all can hold on to that elephant, claim that we're helping the elephant, but we're touching different parts of it, right? Because when you look at all the issues Haiti has, from education to santé publique, sanitation, our logistical supply chains, everything. Listen, I will,
and not to cut you,
and
not to cut you off. You're right. You're right in everything you said. It's just that, like you said, Haiti's a huge elephant. There are different aspects of it. So, like I've said before, I just got back from Haiti last week, right? So the only one place, like I was looking for food, fresh off the airport. I found one place in Gonaïve. I looked for like 45 minutes in Gonaïve for like a place I could eat. I found one spot in Gonaïve to eat, and it was some guy that moved back to Haiti from Orlando, and he has a certain standard, and his food was good. Everywhere else that I went, the food wasn't that good. So you're right as far as investing, as far as being an entrepreneur looking for a profit. Everything you said is correct. But as far as Haiti as a whole, like someone like me that likes the countryside, I don't go to Port-au-Prince. I don't really deal with Port-au-Prince a lot, right? So there are a lot of needs for businesses in Haiti, but it's almost like if you want to invest in as far as like some of these businesses, a lot of the time, right? It's almost like it has to be like from a social entrepreneur perspective. If you're looking just straight up profit in the countryside, it can be hard. Like there are ways to make profit, but it can be hard to just randomly start a business in the country in the countryside if profit first is your attention. You know what I'm saying? But as far as what you said, as far as how to make real money in Haiti in your book, you're right. But me going back, I saw a need for like whenever I see a need, I try to find an answer and find a way to, make sure I take care of that need. And that having a place where people can come to and just escape and have a nice environment. Like people goes there and take pictures all the time because they have a joke and says like, yo, de bula uba Haiti no. Uba Haiti no si yo mou photo sa. Right? They're making these type of things, but I feel good about that because, even Haitians mostly have a really negative kind of, they always have negative things to say about Haiti, and I want to stand in between that and make sure and kind of like give them a little bit of responsibility too, because Haiti is the way it is. Okay, so we all have to take action into making it better. So again, you're right, but then those businesses are also necessary, and they have to have a standard, not just do it, but do it in a quality way. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like what drives me to do that in my town, and then also with the nonprofit as well. And again, you're right, but when you have a nonprofit, that doesn't export clothes and all those things to the country, and we have a bunch of those things already, that kind of just bringing money into the town and use it locally, those ways really help. And again, we focus on education and meals. We don't buy things that are not locally produced to cook for these kids. So it's kind of like you're stimulating the economy in a way by bringing money in. And I know other people that helps in Mauj that are not from Mauj, but I encourage them to keep coming, because when money comes to the community, it betters the community. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm with you. And again, as I said, you're doing it the way it should be. Where I know so many non-for-profits. Not only they encourage these sort of these mission trips where they get these suburban kids who are just trying to build up their resumes for Princeton, to say, oh, I helped the impoverished village in, if not Africa, and Haiti. And they fly them in. They literally build these different things that could have used Haitian labor, and then their entire ecosystem is built around bringing products in and never considering to first look to see if what they could have purchased, what was purchasable in Haiti, which 90% of the time it is, right? And so the fact that you're doing it that way is great. One thing you said that I have to key in on, it's important, is here's my frustration more than anything about business in Haiti from us. When I say us, which is so much of it is uncachet. Right? That's why I appreciate you. That's why I appreciate you more than anything, Kav, is that you're putting your day-to-day experiences in front of the world, right? When you put it on YouTube, you put it in front of the world, right? To share here's what are the things I'm experiencing. Here's what I'm going through. Here are the challenges that I'm going through as I'm constructing, or as I'm doing this or doing Y, doing Z, right? Because the reality is that there's as much more investment happening from Black Haitians than these foreigners. But here's the problem: it's a mentality thing. Because foreigners, you're buying cachette. Foreigners, they're out there, they're in their restaurant, they're in their business, they're up front. Hey, hello, how are you? Yes, come. They're talking their, their best effort in Creole. They're up front, and it's very clear they're the owner, right? There's not hiding. Right. What I found, I'm sure, Cloud, you can stick to this. You can say the same thing. Is how often is it? Don't say anything. Don't let people know you own this business. Right, a lot of folks, maybe you would want to interview and get them on camera to talk. No, I don't want to. I don't want people to go my business. I don't want. to feel menaced, right? There is a cancer, quite frankly,
Right.
amongst Black Haitian business owners. I'm just gonna say it just like that in Haiti, where they've been brainwashed to basically hide them having any ownership of anything in Haiti, and it's to the detriment of Haitian society as a whole, because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy where, because now most of these Black Haitians are hiding their ownership, hiding their investments. We think there's just not that, and we don't. For example, one reason why I didn't go into IT until very late in my career, before I started entrepreneuring in America and entrepreneuring in Haiti, was because I didn't see any. Steve Jobs is white. Bill Gates is white, right? I didn't see any folks who look like me impacting, and it's the same thing in Haiti, where if you don't see, you go to a grocery store, you don't see, that the real owner potentially is Black, because they've decided to put a non Black face in there, because in their mind they have to protect their asset, because it can't be known that their real owner is Black for whatever ridiculous reason that they've decided to convince themselves, right? It's
Right.
a detriment. It's a genuine detriment, and it's
Right.
frustrating. And that's why I appreciate what you're doing, because you're upfront. Cloud. You're like,
Yeah.
yo, here's what we got going on. Here's what we're doing. Here's mine. Here's
Yeah.
what you could do too. And I tell you what, you're impacting so many other Black Haitians, to be able to do the same thing, and grow that economic pie, right? And I wish
Right.
the day that Haitians don't feel, and that's all walks of life too, by the way. Though I do see it more consistently with Black Haitians, that we as Haitian business owners don't hide what we're doing. We can, with a straight face, express it, and not feel the need to feel unsafe because you're sharing your successes. It's crazy, but I think that's when Haiti really starts to change, when we can start sharing our successes, like you're doing, like I'm doing, without
Right.
the fear of whatever that fear is. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
You're right. You're right, man. You're right. And you said it at the beginning of the live, like, 80% of the like educated Haitians don't leave in the country. And as far as being scared too, like I can tell you from doing things in the countryside, a lot of people, like I don't want to say anything negative here, but like I'm Haitian to the core, man. It's like a part of the 80% of Haitians that are educated leave outside of Haiti. A lot of the time too, man, Haitians are just scared, man. Haitians are scared to put themselves out there. They're scared to go back. They're scared to do things. They don't want to be in front of the camera, I guess, for whatever reason. Like I do this because of, again, I don't want to come off like, I'm a fan, dude, but I just really appreciate what you do, because like I said, I'm very like, Haitian to the core. So it's like what you do is super duper important. And like I even watch people like you mentioned them before, like Maya from Africa and stuff like that. Man, I don't have a personality to be on here and just talking in live and so on and so forth. But I think it's important, once you see something, you might have had an idea, right? And somebody else inspired you to do it. So this is the reason I'm on YouTube, really, just to put the videos out there. I'm to the point where I don't even put my face on them, so people can just see. And hopefully I can inspire other people like you, Guatemala, and other people like that inspired me to get on YouTube to do those things, right? Because a lot of the time Haitians are scared, are scared of many things, like from the education part, but also even the voodoo part. Even though, like, like whatever people believe, that's their own belief, right? But I can tell you right now, if I was scared, there is no way. If I was scared of even voodoo, like I said, there is no way I would be able to go to Haiti every 2.5 months and do the things that I do. So what you're doing is super important. You tell me what I'm doing is super important. Again, I'm just inspired by you and other people to kind of like put my stuff out there and hopefully get people to follow and do the same thing. Like I have a lot of people that are interested in coming to Mauj now. People are asking me, how do I get there? Right. And you mentioned like the eating and the lodging. The past years, what I've been doing, I've been building rooms, and I just finished building a tiny house. I don't know if anybody else have a tiny house in Haiti, but I just finished building a tiny house and 3 other rooms. So now it's a whole kind of like, it's the evolution of what's necessary for the town. It's not just a restaurant anymore. I know you always say boy rich though, so it's kind of a place people can come to and really just enjoy yourself and stay a week, 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like what I'm working towards. And by this summer coming up, COVID kind of slowed some things down, but by summer I'll have some people coming with me and just enjoying Maui, the countryside of Haiti, not the crazy part of Port-au-Prince in Fort Sam.
So are you on Airbnb?
No, I did not start any of that yet.
Okay.
Again, like
Okay.
again, dude, I'm not that social, so I'm just starting things out to help my community so far. So once things are set up, and there's a standard, then I'll let more people know about it,
Okay.
and we'll go from there, man. So I'm just here, just
I have
learning from what everybody else is doing, you're doing, etc.
I have folks asking, you're not for profit. What's it called? I think some folks may want to contribute or donate something to it. What's the
Right.
you're not for
So
profit? Or is there a website?
yes, absolutely. So the nonprofit is the Fawcett Project, right? So I went back in 2017. My parents passed, and I wanted to do something that helps the community, and also with kind of like their name, basically. So it's called the Fawcett Project, and we focus on like alleviating the educational deficit in Maui. And if people,
FaustinProject.org, is that the website?
the FawcettProject.org, yeah.
I'm sure.
So we're focusing. Thank you. So we're focusing on alleviating the educational deficit in Maui. So a lot of people may not know, it's like schools in Haiti might be like, $1,500, $2,000 Haitian, which is about $100, right? But if you take in the wages in the countryside, most people are subsistence farmers. They don't work. So when they have 4 or 5 kids, they can't really pay for schools for their kids, and schools is like the key to any society advancing. So we are doing that. We're putting kids through school and making sure like the parents understand that we take care of the education part as far as the tuition, but parents have to be responsible, and whatever they're not using to put the kids at school, to kind of put a little bit on towards saving and preparing for the kid, getting ready for the kid to ultimately go into college. And also we do with single mothers, we provide them with, micro loans so they can have a cool mess, so they can have a way of living. And this is why I'm building this whole room. I want people to come to March to see really how things are, so they don't just hear it from me. So people need us, the diaspora. Like you were saying before, 80% of us live in the States and elsewhere. So we need to be down there. That's why I commend you, dude, for actually leaving what you're doing here and going back over there and, taking interest. And we also feeding our kids as well. So after the first year, we've noticed that most of the kids are malnourished, right? 1 in 5 kids like suffer through malnutrition, malnutrition. I'm sorry. So the second year, we launched another program which is a monthly program where we actually get people to subscribe monthly. I'm actually like preparing gifts to send out to all those monthly people here, and I'm gonna talk to you about that in a second, or personally through a phone call. We feed all of our kids as well, and again, everything we use, we even do bouillon, and they don't like it, but we use everything locally, right? And the one thing, the Haitian rice obviously is way better, but it's a little bit more expensive. But we're trying, like right now, we're trying our best to not even use the imported rice, so we can use everything locally. And that right there, we employed 3 people. So we have a lady that cooks. We have a guy that where he works kind of with the business I have in the nonprofit. He kind of helps me out a little bit. So he's like the mentor to the kids. And we have another young lady that, organize games, because we have a center. Again, I invest my own money because we can't raise that much money. So again, when I see a problem, I want to solve it, which gives me a lot of stress. So I have a whole center built so the kids can come eat. Before, we used to deliver it to them, and that wasn't really that great. So we have a whole center I built this past summer. It's all on my YouTube page, where the kids come every day. They eat. They have a mentor there, and they have people, to help them with their homework, et cetera, et cetera. So we got all that going on, and I'm just trying my best as an anti-social deal. I'm trying my best to get the word out and try to see if I can get more people to support, in a real genuine kind of like grassroots organization that helps a remote countryside in Haiti. So that's where I'm at
I
with
love
that.
it. The website is on there. Those who are watching on IG who want to see who Faustin is, see his face, go to SeeJeanty.com/SeeJeanty. SeeJeanty, same SeeJeanty. You're logged in IG right now to kind of view the conversation directly. If you're on IG, I know I see a few folks are listening. We'll sure would like to see how the conversation is going. But no, that's great. I think that's a fantastic initiative. I think focused on youth and focused on the different things you have going on. So certainly, feel free to donate what you can. I'm sure you have a donate link somewhere on that website. So do visit his website and donate and help impact. And I think I saw as you were talking, I saw a few folks explaining why folks hide what they're doing. And remember I was saying why so many Black Haitians hide themselves, and a lot of folks say, well, they'll kill you. They're the big powers that be will kill you. I've expressed this a few different times before. Haiti, this is why I'm fine. This is why folks say, Chris, I can't believe you do what you do, and do you feel menaced? I go, bruh. I let the hood side come out a little bit. I go, bruh. Listen, I ain't come to Haiti to fight. Because listen, the Haitian economy is a plate of rice and has like a few grains of dili suli. Why am I going to leave America, land of plenty, to go to Haiti and fight some other guy for their little grain of rice, right? Because that gun egg in Haiti, he's a gun egg holding a few grains of rice. You put him against a gun egg in America, they'll laugh at that. This is they pay employees what that guy pays himself and or his assets, right? A gun egg in Haiti isn't really a gun egg. You're not a gun egg if you don't produce. Like true gun eggs are producers, the Rockefellers, the folks who will Purdue. The true gun eggs, they produce, they create, they value add, my friend. Those are the true gun eggs. Okay, not the guys who just buy and resell, who trade, which is what our gun eggs here in Haiti are, right? And because the way they've constructed this economy, where if my buy resell, right, it's a limited pie, right? And so if someone else comes in, they're taking from my limited pie, right? They're gonna get defensive. And I've met folks, I have a private conversation with folks, this higher tier for, and I'll be quite frank, this is what you've heard is true. They will cut off your supply at the port. Things will happen. They'll even price what they're trying to do at zero, so you lose our profitability, so you don't come back. Why would I go to Haiti to have these fights for these little bit of money, right? Whereas I rather come to Haiti and do new things that don't exist yet. There isn't a gun egg that's stopping us from doing media the way we do media. There isn't a gun egg that's stopping us from doing the type of business I'm doing, which is bringing stuff out of the country. There isn't a gun egg standing in front of me stopping us from doing another line of business I was doing, which was staffing. There's no gun egg standing in front of me doing another line of business that's been very lucrative, which has been outsourcing. I have an outsourcing company. So I go into Haiti, and I encourage that's why I wrote the book. That's why I wrote the book, guys. So there's 100 different ways to make money in the country that doesn't go up against the boogeyman gun egg, right? The boogeyman, everyone says, I can't go to Haiti because the gun egg's gonna. Bro, there's so many ways, so many businesses, so many different things that exist, bro, that can make you so much money, and it's untouched by the economy, right? And so the folks in the comments, I had to take a quick little detour real quick to explain that aspect of there's so much, Haiti has so much need. Please think about coming to Haiti and fulfilling that need. If it's not, so check this out. This is why I have Cloud 14 here. It could be something brand new for the city or something already that has a lot in the city but doesn't exist in the provinces, like Cloud is doing, like restaurants, hotels, different things. They're too much in the cities, but there's very little in the province. So go in the province. There's no gun egg. Is there a gun egg in your area? That's gonna
no.
Hey, no more restaurants, Cloud. No. Your life is in danger, Cloud. Because how dare you open a restaurant across from my restaurant? No.
But look, even with everything you're saying, man, like what you're doing is so important, right? It's because you like exporting things out of Haiti. So none of those gun egg was kind of like really doing what you're doing. So that's really important. And a lot of the time, man, like, I don't expect everyone to be a nationalist or to just have a strong dedication as far as doing things. Don't let a lot of those things get to you, man, because what you're doing, again, not a lot of people can do that. And I'm slowly learning that, it only take a special few people that can actually go to Haiti and do things in Haiti. That's just the truth. So don't even worry about other people. The only thing I would hope for is like the people that actually are not going to go and do things over there, just please don't say anything negative, right? Just sit back and watch. And, if you can come visit here and there, do that. But don't join the gang and, creating this horrible kind of perception about Haiti as far as, And don't act like you know everything either, because a lot of people that's never been to Haiti always have something to say. So just don't do that, right? That's the one thing I would hope for. But also, like there are like in your book, there are a lot of ways to make money in Haiti, but I'm slowly learning that not everybody, can be an entrepreneur. So if you're not one of those people, again, just I'm not saying mind your business. I don't want to upset anyone. This is where I should stop talking, because I don't want to say anything wrong. But just do what you got to do. Come visit, do what you can, support, be positive. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I don't want to have a whole fandom going on. Anyone that's doing something as far as being an entrepreneur, making a difference, and going to Haiti and actually standing their ground, I have the most respect for you. So if you're not one of those people, support how you can. And with IE Pro, as the company just started, again, my accent's coming out throughout this video. So I would love to support, man. I would love to, like, again, I invest all of my money in Haiti since 2017. And as I was listening to you earlier, I will definitely do everything I can to join that second wave of investors as in your business. Again, I'm willing, I want to help. And I have a couple of products, like, again, from Mawuj. There are things in Mawuj. If someone like you come to Mawuj, there is so much that you can export and bring, to the US. We had this priest that everybody in Mawuj love, right? Fenoli, everybody from Mawuj already know who I'm talking about. And he has this little factory, like it wasn't even that big, and he made peanut butter, confetti, and like some other things, right? And he shipped them to Italy. And he used to employ like 65 women, I think, within that little square box of a factory. And he got transferred to Africa. Like, he's the one that bring water to Mawuj. He built houses for the poor. He's basically like, everybody loves him there, right? So he employed like 65 people, and the minute he left, there's no infrastructure for that. Like, the people that was, again, I'm not talking about government, just like y'all don't like talking about politics. The minute that he left, those 65 people lost their jobs, and it's over, right? So I added this because I wanted to like focus on what you're doing. Again, what if someone like you or someone like me, that's my hope, to try to revive that. And that's why I said I wanted to talk to you. So what if someone like you go over there and find a market to export peanut butter and confetti, right? Like, you can give countless people jobs, and you're making a huge difference. You changing families' lives, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why I commend people that are actioners, like you be saying, you take action. I commend that, as opposed to people that just so easily have something negative to say in the comments. You know what I'm saying? So there are a lot of ways to make money in Haiti, but you have to be brave. You have to have a mission. It's not just like you wake up, because we live in the States. I'm super comfortable here, man. Everything is dope. So, but I don't have anything I want to accomplish here any further. Like, I have a career, I have everything I need. But after going in 2017, I made it this is my life's mission, to create a difference, and and kind of do and have an impact, and through the videos and what I do, again, to kind of influence other people to do the same. Because the only way Haiti changed, like you said, is when the diaspora get involved. Like, that 80% of people here in Canada, France, etc., when they get involved in the country, and that's kind of like how Haiti's ever going to change. So I think I kind of like went everywhere with that, what I just said. But again, that's kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
Stuff. I like you added some tips to be successful, which is something I was going to ask
Yeah.
you in a moment. But listen, I say this a lot. I'm gonna say it again. I don't wish entrepreneurship on my worst enemy.
It's not easy, especially in Haiti.
I don't wish entrepreneurship on my worst enemy. You could do the worst thing to me. I wish you the best, but I wouldn't wish entrepreneurship. It is so freaking difficult.
Yeah.
The amount of sleep you lose, the stress, that the grind, right? Wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. But and that's why it doesn't have to be for everyone. Again, the easiest way folks can support is just inconvenience yourself. Don't go to Walmart, go to Bravo and look for those Haitian products and buy them. You know what I'm saying? Go to Keys, go to Amazon, go to buy those Haitian products.
I'm gonna go on a limb here. Sorry to cut you off. Support your products. And I'm saying this again, most people are gonna hate me from this moment on, but I'm never online anyways. But like, go support your stuff. That's super important. So if you're Haitian, you have pride in being Haiti, go support what SeeJeanty is doing. It's kind of like the same thing with the nonprofit, right? a lot of people are gonna kill me for this. So I started the whole monthly thing, like when COVID broke out, 2020, right? Summer of 2020. And this is the same thing when people say Haitians don't work together. Right now I have a certain amount of people that do monthly for the past 2 years, right? They're not Haitians. They're not
Can you whisper that?
not
Say it again. Say it louder, Cloud.
yeah.
Say it louder, Cloud.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, go support SeeJeanty. Like like I can tell you right now, I'm not faking. I'm willing. I need you to expand to South Florida, like Naples, Fort Myers, Lehigh area. That's where I'm at. Dude, I will do stuff for free for you because I just want to see you progress, right? So like I said, those people that hold the nonprofit and make sure it's a success, I can tell you 99% of those people that are part of the monthly subscription, they're not Haitian. Stuff right there. So go support what SeeJeanty is doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's support each other. And that's kind of like the little fanboy, fandom thing might come out. Somebody was like, bro, you a fan. I'm not. I just love, when we can support each other and help each other grow. A lot of the time in our community, it's like a mentality, it's like crab in a barrel mentality. It's like SeeJeanty, oh, papa lâche bagay, mi si, mi sa bouche, mi sa fait fréquent. Bro, even with the business I have in Haiti, like, yo, you don't come in here, this whole nice place, like, you doing yourself a disservice. Right. So it's like, yo, let's change that mentality. Like, if you become a millionaire tomorrow, a billionaire, that's better for me. That's a Zoe. That's a Haitian. So a lot of the time we have this mentality that, it's a crab, like, like I said before, it's a very bad mentality, bro. Like, we don't support each other.
And unfortunately, I think the times are changing a little bit. At least there's pockets of collaboration that's happening. And for example, again, I'm glad to have you on the live today. I know the times are ticking and we're going a bit long, but I'd like to ask one more question, and that is, 5 years from now, where do you see yourself, Cloud? Like, where do you see what you're doing? Give us the vision 5 years from now, and then ultimately, how do you challenge everyone watching to help you get there?
Man, 5 years from now, like I said, I was lucky enough to make it here, went to school, have a career. Like, my goals are Haiti based. That's what my goals are. So 5 years from now, I would love to be able to almost, I could say, like, live in Haiti and come back and forth to the States, right? So I want to I want to kind of like take on like a full-time role with the nonprofit, because every year we're growing and I see the impact that we're making. And I can tell you too, if I'm in Haiti, I live in Haiti, the business would employ more people. It would be a lot better. Like the day-to-day operations, everything would be a lot better. I kind of have this vision, man. I want to have like this Mauj where every single child is in school, and there are different projects in place, where kids are living a safe lifestyle and having fun and actually having a childhood, right? And making sure that adults, bro, it just lacks structure. I want to bring more structure, not from a political standpoint, but more from a social, standpoint to my town. And I want to kind of like be able to do that and set it as an example that, yo, you can go back to your town and do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? You can go back and make a huge difference. So in 5 years from now, I would love to be able to live in Haiti and, just come back and forth from Haiti to the States or come visit the States. I also have this new business venture that I really need to speak to you about, even if you have, it needs to be a consultation and I pay. That, the same thing with the ladies that I told you, that 65% of them working at this little factory. Also from Côte d'Ivoire, that's where the little factory is at. They produce a lot of coffee. And I am actually working on all of this stuff already. I want to be able to, through iPro, just export those things and kind of bring back those 65 people and add more and more and more, maybe get to 100, 200, 300. So the sky's the limit. I want to be able to create structure where I'm from, in my town, to start out and kind of create job opportunities, making education accessible to everyone, all children, make sure they're living, a safe lifestyle and having a childhood and stuff like that. And I want to dedicate my life to kind of like making that possible. And I'm not just saying that as a cliche, and it will happen. I will make that possible and make it like an example where, other people can kind of like see it in real time and be like, yo, I can do this too. And those are some of the visions that I have for the next 5 years, man.
We'll stay in touch, man. I'll reach. I got your email now that you emailed me. I'll follow up. We'll have a conversation, if not today, certainly during the week. And we'll talk. We'll see how we can help each other out for sure, and keep both of us pushing forward and moving forward. Because the sort of stuff you have going on here is certainly interesting, and that's certainly where I want Hyper to be. Which is a place where not only are we ever in America, but we're in different parts in Haiti, sourcing different things that can be used to the world. So we're going to work together. Listen, Cloud, I appreciate you. I want folks to one more time the website for Cloud 14. His YouTube is I'm gonna post it right here in the channel for those on Instagram. It's youtube.com/cloud CLOUD FORTIN. Go give him a subscription. Let's give him a nice little bump. Let's see if we can get 20, 30 new subscribers today. Challenge you guys. Go give him a like. Go watch his most recent video. Make sure you hit a like. Drop a comment. SeeJeanty sent me. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that.
And just follow all the work he's doing. And again, Cloud, I appreciate your time today. I appreciate you coming on. And yes, guys, it's been on the to-do list. I am supposed to go to Mont Saint Nikolai. I just, all the stuff I got going on hyper distribution. One of the first things I'm going to do when things settle down here, we're going to have a SeeJeanty on location, a series on Mont Saint Nikolai. And guess what? Cloud 14 is going to be in that. It's been on the to-do list for a long time. It's going to happen. Folks been asking for it. It's gonna occur.
Hey, once you're back, man, I'm getting you down there. All the expenses, everything. I just want you to come visit and see what it is over there, just so you can just document it so people can see how things are down there, man. So once you're ready, just let me know. And like I said about the export thing with IE Pro, I'm serious about that. So if you don't reach out to me soon, I'll be reaching out to you.
For sure. Listen, Cloud, thanks so much. Keep pushing. We got this. Haiti can't help but change. Because of folks like us, right? And the more folks like us that are doing this stuff, Haiti can fight like a kid trying to, who doesn't want to take a shower, but Haiti's going to change. I can't help it, So let's keep pushing. Let's keep doing what we got to do. All right.
Sure.
All right, Cloud. Take it easy. Have a great weekend, brother. Peace.
You too, man.
That was Cloud 14, man. Guy who I had a lot of respect for. Again, I have respect for folks who are about that action, right? Just show me you're about that action. Don't DM me. Don't message me. You know what I'm saying? Don't say what you about to do, Chris. Chris, I got this vision, da-da-da. I got it. Nah, man. Show me what you've done, bro. Like, show me what you've done. Like, show me a video of the things you've accomplished, right? Because anybody can talk. An idea is cheap. Ideas are cheap. I can lay on my sofa and give a million ideas. I'm about that action. I'm about what have you done to get closer to your idea. And an idea to be accomplished doesn't take money. It just takes effort, right? It takes creativity and effort, right? And there's folks like Cloud 14 who are doing what they can. And I have tremendous respect for him. Watched Cloud 14 for a long time. And he's been about that action. And that's how you get my respect. Be about that action. Be about that action, man. Right? Because Haiti doesn't change with barbershop talk, and people who are just commenting about what they could do and should do. It changes by people who are about that action, right? And so hats off to Cloud 14. Again, I encourage you guys, please go follow Cloud 14 on his YouTube. He's doing some really cool stuff. You won't be disappointed. Okay. So that's the episode. We've been on for a better half of, we're pushing 3 hours. Hello. Just want to say thank you to you guys are the folks who watch this from the very beginning to the very end. You guys are the real MVP. Okay. You guys are the real MVP. As a reminder, the book we talked about during that live, you can go to SeeJeanty.com/shop, and you can buy a copy of that book. Maybe 100% of those finances, those proceeds, go to SeeJeanty.com and the things we got going on. I talked about the SeeJeanty.com NFT. You can own actual parts of the episode. I'm hoping that somebody lived up to my challenge. I had 2 NFTs already published, ready for sale. I said I wanted to see the both of them sold before the end of this live. Don't make me look like a fool. Don't put a pie on my face, guys. It's only $50. It was only the owning the rights to Back at It Again, and one of our more popular episodes, Anzavo, that you could own permanently, forever, through NFT. And again, the funds proceeds go again to SeeJeanty.com. Sorry, SeeJeanty Media and all the things we got going on. So hopefully you guys, won't make me look like a pie on my face. We'll see. I guess we'll find out when this live's over. And I take a look and see if it was purchased. But there's gonna be other NFTs going live, our top episodes, our top moments. So go to SeeJeanty.com NFT. At the very bottom, there'll be a link to go to OpenSeas.io, where the true repository to purchase the vehicles will be. So do check that out. That's brand new. Today was the announcement for that. Do be a part of the SeeJeanty Action Group, right? It's a group on Facebook that where we share, encourage different stories, different things that are happening. It's a conversation because again, we're only meeting once a month, but these conversations need to continue. They can't just happen once a month. They need to continue. And so go to become part of the action group, share, talk, conversate, empower, right? We have that control. And the private WhatsApp group, the most consistent thing that's been really helping us, keep the lights open for SeeJeanty Media has been the private WhatsApp group. It's $20 a month. I'd love to have you part of it. It's a constant conference, 30, 40 plus of the most productive, interesting people I've ever had a chance to meet. They're in this WhatsApp group. We're always having conversations. I'm in there, folks who really do want to have a conversation with me outside of these once a month sessions. Guess what? Become a member of the private WhatsApp group. I'm in there. And when you're in there, you're family. Like when you're in there, like whatever it is that you're trying to do, I'm going to try to provide a resource for it. And or other times I just sit back because I already see someone else is providing the resource better than what I had, right? And that's for the private WhatsApp. Because again, if I'm asking for anything to help support what we're doing, I want to give 10 times more value than what I'm getting back. And that's what the private WhatsApp group's about, right? It's about providing that value for folks who really appreciate and support what's happening here on SeeJeanty Media. And again, finally, hyperdistribution.com. Check it out. We're bringing products from Haiti to the world. It's part of my mission just to kind of, I ain't trying to, I could have been a millionaire a million different ways. I could have been a millionaire a million different ways, but it's about making my money the right way. It's about impacting Haiti the right way. And that's what hyper distribution is. So go support, become a wholesaler, reach out to me, buy whatever interests you in bulk for resale, or just individually buy some of these products. They're on Amazon. The links are on the website, on the product page. Go buy, go purchase, go support. All right. So that's the episode. We'll be back next month. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for the time you spent with me today on this Saturday. It's MLK weekend stateside. So enjoy your longer weekend if you are stateside. For those in Haiti, enjoy the push, keep pushing, keep doing what you need to do to get our country to where it needs to be because where it needs to be is Haiti needs to work for all Haitians everywhere. And until that happens, we'll still be here. We'll still be cushioned. So that's it. Thanks, guys. Listen, we'll be back at it again. When we're back at it again. Peace. Take care and see you.